got into the space here, I want to record. After meeting him, because Mara, this guy, he's the one who produced Matsidiso, and Matsidiso has always been one of those songs, like, right, you know.
Matsidiso.
Unsinyaka munyinyo.
What is that thing?
Mwana.
I just heard a sound.
People,
word has it that you wrote that jam.
What? Who said that?
Word.
It's wrong word.
Okay, because
wrong word. Maybe the reason why.
Man. The guy who sang the song.
Khotla.
Yeah, because Khotla never dropped music after that.
No, he did.
What did he drop?
He dropped a song in Webidua, One Tlantana. And then he also had a song on.
I know that one, yeah.
Yeah, he also had a song on album Ya Betulala.
I'm
part of them now. You know, I'm part of them now. So
we won't agree. Until you're CEO of COSBOTS, I'm not taking shit from none of them niggas, except the money. I'll take the money, but none of the jargon.
Yeah.
Until someone who, not even a musician, nigga, you could be making baskets. I don't care if you're writing books.
I'm gonna shock you after this. What you're talking about. There's a very high likelihood that we will never have somebody in that seat who is a musician, by the way.
Why?
Because of the way, you know, the system is. And like I said, I think we have to find better ways to express these things, because obviously certain ways. Look, he's not saying we must be violent and stuff, but you guys must remember what some of these things already go up somewhere, and we have to look at and how have we always been doing things. Will this work for us? Doing that might not even work. Did it work at the time?
We never tried it. No, not this.
No, that incident, did it work? Did it work?
No,
it didn't work.
You should have turned around and threw that chair.
Different identities. Podcast with BSCAR.
Hello. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the PODI-CAST right here on the Local Corner Multimedia YouTube channel. Remember to like and subscribe and to get everything about BW urban youth culture. And here's another one of our installments coming at you from Leo's Inn right here next to Middle Star. Come out, man. Come out to Leo's Inn. You will not regret it. You can, even if your friends are over for a holiday, you know, so if you want a spot where they can chill at, they can cook for themselves, there's a pool outside, this is the place to check out, okay? Leo's Inn, and that's where PODI-CAST comes at you from. My name is SCAR. I am your host, and today we have another one of BW's mainstays, man. This guy, at the age of 16, was recruited by the legendary KTM choir. That's Khaleman Tumiduso Motsete. Yeah, that guy. He came out with those bars. And this guy has been doing everything from, as far as like all of his musical tastes include R&B, chorale, opera. And he came into the scene at around 16, like I mentioned before. I'm sure by now you know who it is. I try to make it like one of these... Yeah, Shannon Sharp puts it. But man, I just can't wait to get into this conversation because he's a story that unravels in front of us every single time we see him. And without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, say hello to Lizibo Simon. What up?
What's up, brother? Yeah, you know, guys, corporate when you have to read the whole profile like
come
that.
On.
Eh?
You know we're moving on now.
Yeah.
We got to make sure. And to celebrate you, we brought out the cognac. I know you don't indulge in liquor. but it's delicious, just so you know. Why don't you drink?
First of all, it's no longer Lizibo Simon, it's Lizibo Mavuto.
Oh!
Yeah, just to help you with that. Who says I don't indulge, by the way?
No, the years I've known you, you've always been the one who didn't touch it.
Who drives people home.
Yes,
Yeah,
literally.
yeah,
and who
yeah.
helps guys with fights with security guards. Kubo no mathata. Bra ile ne ya go gana ka puli ya kana go etlempa ka.
Nah, that tlempile mokwena.
And then Zibo came through.
Yeah,
And then the
Superman.
security guard realized, well, okay, if this guy can talk for this guy,
Yeah. Nyame ke thusitse mokwena ke ntse yalo.
You don't drink though, like for real, like.
No, but I have my moments. Yeah, I have my moments. How can I so ne die mo tsarona ke re gate malatsing a gona la mathata. Ska so ke bitswa na Monday.
Ah, come on. It's Wednesday, Nick.
Go nta gore.
It's Wednesday,
It's Wednesday.
man. Oh. It's Wednesday.
It's cause guy go Wednesday.
Wednesday, Modish. But like for
Yeah,
me, I think,
yeah.
hey man, I've always just respected a lot of, and it's funny. The past couple of years,
Yeah.
as much as I've been around them a lot, they all don't drink. Yourself, Lily Caste,
Yeah.
and like grew up knowing that. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
I've always found that very, very interesting. If you don't indulge in alcohol that much in the music industry, I've seen it work for you.
Okay.
Why did you change and become like us?
Like you, right? You guys are not half bad, by the way. Don't think too little of yourselves. Look, Look, I think I used to a long time ago. But about two years back or so, I had a very unfortunate circumstance that happened, and I found myself back there. It's not necessarily a good thing. I mean, some may know that I lost a very close grandmother of mine.
Yeah.
So, and I live alone, you know, I have a studio malaping. I just found myself just to calm certain, you know, situations down. You know, I mean, it happens to the best of us, you know. Hella, but you'll never see me out there.
Nah, definitely.
Yeah, it's one of those things that I'm very careful about, you know. But yeah, I mean, at the time, it helped me, you know, it helped me not to think about the situation. That I was very close to my grandmother.
Yeah, definitely. Even in your story.
Yeah. So
that's well documented.
And I'm not really proud of it, but look, it happened. You know, it happened.
Still, I got a little too much. Because I think also because no one knows how to deal with grief.
Exactly.
At all, and it comes at us differently, man.
Yeah,
a lot of people, some people become self-destructive. Some, you know, get themselves involved in work and all.
And we can only hope for whichever way you resort to helps you, but does not distract anything. You know what I mean? Doesn't kill anything. Yeah.
Definitely. You did mention, Honor, you changed your surname from Simon to Mabuto.
Yeah.
I always knew you were close with Martin Mabutu. Rest in peace.
Yeah, close.
Marty Sounds, for those who don't know, one of the original members of Tribal Monks, ultimately went on to do amazing stuff, go multi-choice, ended up at DSTV in South Africa, which was huge.
Yeah.
Ends up going to Nigeria.
15 years.
Running like some of the biggest departments within what DSTV and MultiChoice were trying to do across the whole continent.
Yes.
And I think a reason why we won so many Channel O awards. Yeah. Because even when I was traveling throughout the continent, like when we were doing idols and stuff, I used to tell you, like, at least I also blow Milo Uganda who's talking Setswana in Uganda? So the big homie, I've always known you guys were related. So how does this happen with the surname?
Mabuto is my mom's maiden name. Khotmani sounds his father and my mom are siblings.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so and probably one of the main reasons why I went into mainstream music, because You know, I vividly remember certain years. Nakuya Trabo Monkselo, a beta, the Carlin Blake Black Label tours.
Yeah.
I'd remember they would pass by paying and there would be havoc, you know,
Must
you
have moved
know,
up, but
hey, you know, I remember one time hole lenyalo ba tsena ka caravelle lenyalo ya no ke go tlaka you know, but at the time I didn't know what was going on. I was too young.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have instances, I mean, it happens to the best of us really banzi, where you at a certain time you feel, no, I need to change back to my mom's surname.
Yeah.
In my instance, that's where ke gone go goletse in teng.
Yeah.
I don't really feel very close to the surname that
How did you get that surname?
That's my stepfather's name.
Okay.
Who I always, you know, give thanks to him for introducing me to, you know, KTM choir.
Mm-hmm.
He was evidently the person who introduced me to KTM. I remember Santegetanako Primary, he would take me to KTM choir practices. Mm-hmm. I mean, he was a part of the KTM choir for a very long time.
Okay.
Yeah, so ke itse gore loje le wera tengele ku e ku mo tsanile ke utlwe maloba ke tsona le maona a botsa gore kana kapana. I think you guys meant to say chantembo. No, it's gore ya rena country lodge to listen to Scar. Yeah, I mean that's I used to, that house used to be our house back then, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Crazy.
Came to a time where I was told closer to reading my husband audio man na maloba.
Hey, he was checking out the show.
Yeah, so it just so happens in my finding myself, and my consultations lebaholo and stuff like that. I came to the conclusion, I don't know, I think it's best I go back to Maputo.
Yeah.
Erra.
Awesome stuff. So, like you growing up, where we at? Are we in Gaborone? Where are you going to school? And the household is you, your mom. Who else is in the house? Your stepdad. Who else is there?
My younger brother, Lisi. Mm-hmm. Yes.
You guys went deep with those names.
Very deep, very deep.
No doubt.
I mean, wait until you hear my mom's name. So.
What is it?
Bakwi.
Yes.
Bakwi.
What does it mean?
It means basitli.
Okay.
Basitli ba mabele.
Whoa.
Erra.
All right.
Lizibo means kitso.
Mm.
Kitso ya modimo, lisi gotewan, lisiwe dukana. Lisiwe ngombe modisa wa khom, lisi gotewa modisa.
Okay.
Yeah, so
just sounds cooler.
We
Sorry,
I mean,
D.
with the reason why my mom was called Bakwi, Hajitsura does it. I think it happens all over Botswana.
Yeah. Yes,
So, and I really hope we go back to naming our kids these things. The story that I got, it might take a bit. 80. 4 guys, 4 ladies. So the firstborn, ke nna le ena ko rapa ha o itshungile ka nna ko rapa ke utlwe Brendo a sa bua gore
you in the mix there.
I was there, but I was way younger. I was way younger.
You were a baby.
Yeah. Not a baby.
Come on, Zibos. If you're younger than me and them niggas is older than me, come on.
Yeah, you're only a year older than me, bro. Probably a couple of months. Yeah,
dude, lying.
Yeah,
okay, I'm about 5 years.
Yeah, right. So
all right, 4 boys, 4 girls.
Yeah. So maina teng ne le gore a tlhomagana yana.
Okay.
Tla ke se ka bua o tle se ka tloga go tsana go intele but bomme ba 4 one who is late now ne le gore ke ene taduma meaning re dumetse and then mo go latela o lady gore ya no gore re dumetse gore na le mositlwama bele mo gae and then o mongwe o latelang ba bidiwa nyaladzi bo gote yo e tla nna modidimati wa rona and then wa bohelwa ba bidiwa tamapo go twa gote re ye mefa.
That's it.
You know. Yeah. So So that's how bana ba bidiwa yalo. So I'm trying to say nna ha ke tsholwa I understand le gore nyayo I understand my mom was pretty young then. And the only explanation they could come with was, yeah, you kikitswa modimo. Only God knows why
Damn,
you know. And then my younger brother came oti, oh, nlisiwe ngombe oyo. Kana kiki, nlisiwe du. Yo etla naene, yo elong hore, wa redisa. He's a very quiet guy, how come Mona, very, 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 very outspoken, but very, very, very nice guy. You know, how libili. How can level no tlhogo eno kana dumela hore e tletse music ke kitso ya music,
yes,
you know.
Sir.
So I really hope re le banana we go back to sone setso sa go bitsana mainana le bokao gombe go bitsana bo ska.
Come on. No, I have a cool story.
Yeah,
I was our names at home.
And I'm doing this kaboom, by the way, so that lo we put how you to biditswe dina leo yang. I always, I always come across youngsters, younger than us, and very powerful name. Like my first born I go like being Kena Biduan Tepang. Tepang. I understand my grandmother is from a different country, from Zim. And when my grandfather went and shelled Abawina, my late grandmother used to say, the way he won it is, no, my father's very rich. That's
what we all do.
And
that's the trick.
My grandfather, I think he passed in 1980. And I was having this conversation like 10 years ago, and my grandmother was saying, bro, I'm still waiting for those cows.
You then game on her.
Yeah, and I understand, and they had like a rivalry between her and her mother-in-law, as it's always the case. And I understand my great-grandmother didn't trust this one. And I understand. So my our firstborn uncle, we do at Sepak. Trust. Trust. Let's trust her. You know.
That's dope.
And then second born baby do got mueti. Mueti. Wa ga rora msadi mo na isa du le gore ha ke mo tshepe sentle go nyame o bobedi bo go nyame mueti. Nya ke o etileo.
Definitely.
And then mogotla motini go tinyame le tla re nja le mmona ya re motini kana go twa go te le tla re nyame ke ka le mmona yana. And then last born of the guys bidwa mbakiso go tinya moagisi nya ga so go o tla ragisa mo lapeng wa bona gore ntse yang.
Yo, man, like IKalanga be deep.
Very deep, very deep, very deep.
Because I think that's why some of us then, before we go into how deep it is, my dad ke Abigail, my mom is Mashobo, I'm Tato, and Horata is Horata. So I don't know why they went for the simplicity.
Yeah. No, but you know what? Go and
it's
ask.
It's completely like,
ask, you probably find that there's a connection to all these names.
But like our names are like the average Botswana name so much. I was always Tato Mukima or Tato Alebadi.
Yeah. I mean, for an F-tap guy, they gave you a pretty cool name.
It's a dope name.
It's a very dope name.
God wanted this to happen.
You're right.
You know what I mean?
Right,
because I was the firstborn. But like when you were growing up, was it in Orapa? When were you in Orapa? When were you in Gabs? And where did you go to school?
I'm a very interesting story. I mean, like to the literal sense. I did like 3 years of my primary school, Zwenshabe Primary School, which was turning 85 years this year, by the way. So I did 3 years of my primary in
No, it's in your face.
No.
These
guys brought me like 7 lights.
No, you know what the crazy thing is? Zibos is out here with his R&B crooner voice. You know, he's just chilling like this.
We will talk. You've always hated my voice.
No, wait, listen. Let's keep going. You grew up 3 years where? Zwenshabe first?
Yeah, so I did my primary school, 3 years in primary school, Zwenshabe.
How is Zwenshabe when you are there, my man? Because when you hear the name, I just think rural.
It's back then it was very rural.
You know rural how? The rurals we used to see when we were passing through like villages. And then you see just one crib there. And then the other crib is all the way that side.
Sorry to
No,
Sorry
get that in
to-
my mind
yeah,
every single
yeah.
time before I got to try.
No. Zwenshabe, now, back then, I don't think it was not that bad, you know. It was not that bad. I mean, primary school, yeah, ka metsi le mintsi, e ke yone na engele ha toko ga tsela. And ha morago ga khotla. Back then, I wish I would give you a better description because I still mangane. Hela. We grew up very normal. I mean, God-fearing, you know, little village. There's a lot of sports. Kerabo go taboga le go tshameka bolo. You know, we have our smaller and a demo hale. You know, there is a brigade. You know, so there was a lot of people because of brigade. You know, we have a primary school and a junior school.
Oh, okay. So it's not
it's
that
not that-
small.
it's not that small.
And back then, for them to even build a primary and a secondary means that's where other villages could come through to.
Exactly. I mean, I got to understand. I got to learn how those two schools. Primary school as in Shambe, I understand he giving bazo in Shambe. That is why Mac was, you know, he made sure he attended the 85th. 80th.
Who's Mac?
Mac.
Oh.
His Excellency.
Yeah, okay. His Excellency, yes, sir.
That was one of the reasons why he saw it very fit to make sure he attended to attend the 80th anniversary because school is you know, who I understand at the time because of so the two very main culprits, you know, for lack of a better word, you know, in Zim, and you know how big, you know, educational wise back then, about now, you know, back in those years. And then I also understand junior school. It was initiative. Batho ba motse ba bona advert that day
because I'm sure at that time also
we're
coming very, very slowly as well.
Yeah. So I mean, Zwenshabe is relatively a very small you know, village, but has a lot to offer. I mean, I could give you Zwenshabe greats, you know, the ex-minister Tiboni, he was a minister of minerals not so long ago. I remember there's a gentleman called Agrippa Matamiko. Mr. Glody Dube.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, he's one of those people who were, you know, very big in athletics back then. I mean, we have Alex Matamiko getting Zebras. He's from Zwenshabe.
Yes, sir.
You know, there's me, obviously.
Yeah.
So I mean, and then there's Vusi. There's a young man, a great entrepreneur. He's in the gospel scene. You know, so there's quite. I'm just trying to demonstrate what, even though it was very small, there's a lot of academias who came up from there. You know, I remember the first time ke bona a hammer. No
doubt.
Yeah, so Zwenshabe then was a very sounds you know,
sir.
it was a part of tribal monks, you know. So yeah, with my younger brother. So 3 years, like I was saying, I did in Zwenshabe primary, and then I had a very huge move from Zwenshabe straight to Gabs. Francis Town. But and then there was a great migration from Zwenshabe 93 when I was doing standard 3 to Gabs, and then not only to Gabs, to Rainbow School.
What's cheeky?
Just checking, bra, and it gets you know, you know. So it was a huge culture shock. You know, you know, it was a great shock.
I can imagine,
you know, and then from Skalaka bogolo that's why I never go Francis Town. Bogolo it was not on Naskalaka Stswananyana at least, but and then from Skalaka straight to English, to an English media, you know, you know, and then they had to drop me a couple of standards. Hey, warranted because nani ke bona makgowa go tlakatlakane.
You weren't ready.
Obviously, I mean, I remember some of my classmates, Petula, yeah. I also went to school in the same class, German dollar. Yeah, German dollar. Those were my classmates.
Listen, this is really twisted.
Yeah.
Because if you were doing 73 in 93, I was too. So this means they dropped you all the way back there.
They had to drop me a standard behind.
Snapper.
Yeah, but I'm glad it happened because I'm sure I see hey, you know what I mean?
At that rate, when I'm to post the results on Facebook, you know, Mudimund can turn things around.
Yeah, well, you know, it happens. It happens to the best of us. So I'm sure Negisi Agaban and stuff. The shock is too much, you know. The gentleman called Mr. Gilmore, just to show.
No, he was there, guys. He was there.
How do you know?
No, J. Dotton and Uber Nats and a go. Mr. Gilmore.
Mr. Gilmore, you know. So
that's why. But then, Zibo man, when you're coming through here, is it because of work with Botsadi? Or is
I'm glad you asked that.
And how are they making it rain in a private school?
Yeah, my mom back then, the early 90s, she was overseas. Your Scotland, she did your Scotland, she did your Australia for the longest time. So her younger sister, manini Nyaladzi, ke memara we now. I'm very close to my younger aunts. I mean, aren't we all?
We all are, because I
mean, most of them are the deputy parents.
Definitely. They're the sister and the mom.
You know what I
mean?
Time, so hantsa ya gae because na ke na le mosadi mogolo ko gae gore hantsa na feel bad so this one is just destined to stay home, you know, because we come from a very academia type of household where my grandmother and my grandfather believed gore bana ba tsonto ba tsene school. Gore one of those, you know, weekends hantsa ya wa rena nka kutlwa ka ena you know, and she just decided to up and grab me, speak to the old lady. The old lady was like, that's best for me. I guess she had to convince this one, or he will have better opportunities. Actually, before I went to Rainbow, I did 1 year go Tau.
You know,
and you know, so I because I stayed on community at Taung for that year or so. So that's when the move happened because of my auntie. Now I feel no, this one can't be destined. You know, because everybody was in the city. And you know, I give thanks to her. You know, and I don't thank her enough. I'm glad you asked that. And then my mom, I think the year after that, that's when she came back. And then, you know, her and my stepfather were like, and it was the thing for Hotsana Modi English medium. I remember I went to Rainbow, my younger brother and I so that's how the move happened. Because of my auntie. I mean, I have always, you know, wanted the best for us.
Man. We thank you guys.
You know, and thank you so much for asking me that. I really don't thank her enough. But she knows I love her with all. She knows I always make sure wherever, you know, whenever I'm able to. I think maybe it's my way of saying thank you to her.
Definitely.
You know,
culturally though, Kalanga cats are very, very, you can tell. Horleito has some level of respect for family.
Okay. You think it's a Kalanga thing?
No. Out here, dirty South, from the United States of Molepulo, we run different. But like I'm saying, there is a major element of respect, especially for the head of the house, the father, the matriarch, what respect to our wives.
Of course, yeah.
Even language is also important within the Kalanga culture.
Yeah.
How did you learn all of these things? Are they actively doing it to teach you, this is how you got to behave? Don't let those dirty South people get your mind twisted, because it seems there's always like a parallel vibe. Like it's like some Zulu cats. It's like you can tell with like a Kalanga dude. It's like, this nigga thinks different.
You think so? Yeah.
I don't know what it is culturally.
Yeah. I think there is probably some school. I was too young.
Yeah.
But hella, one thing I can tell you is there's that strong element of respect in most of the Kalanga homes. Most, because I don't want to seem as if I'm being very subjective,
Yeah.
Most
Hey,
stuff like that. So and I can only hope it continues, because to some of us it really helped us cultivate so much that we didn't know about ourselves.
Yeah.
And what, I'm one of those self-proclaimed Kalanga custodian guys.
Yes, sir.
And I really attribute it to, the years that I spent in the rural areas of Kalanga.
Yeah.
And so hagere in most households, I've had visit my cousins. About this side, but that was just the way it was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So and maybe let me just take you back a bit. It's kind of so and then I did. I hope like a literal sense.
All over the place.
I'm about to shock you. Look how like it's in a school.
I use
So Taung, Rainbow, Shepherd, and Mulepolole.
You went to Shepherd?
Yeah.
Going on an English medium tour.
Yeah, ne. Lebo Mam Meriwether, Lesedi, Lesedi school Sabo Deep Sea.
Yeah.
And then that's when I went to Orapa.
Okay.
I did about 4 years go Orapa. My primary school. Sana 6 and 7 go batwing one house. Ke gone go eleng gore bo Brendo le bona nya Brendo I ke gapolore na rotene mo go se femara. And then I did my form 1 also in Orapa. So just to show you gore ha ke re ke ngwana a Botswana.
Yeah.
How ka utlwa mongwa ko mo lepolla re ke ngwana a rona yo, gladly so.
Yes, sir.
And rightfully so, they're supposed to claim me because gona ke na le bola costa nyana mo gona,
Yes,
because
sir. Le rolenyana la
le rolenyana la teng mara ke ne ka se ka khona go bona go sinala ga teng a ke re ga le tswa kwa letsatsi
I heard that thing. People like saying that much.
Yeah, so I mean, those are the cities and cultures that I really grew up in.
Yeah.
So listen to all these places.
Yeah.
How can I not? I fit in. I still have some of my old classmates. I mean, I had the pleasure. The president literally got into the classroom. So it was such a special time for me. And I'm very close to the guys. But
you've always been that dude. I mean, people don't know that much. So I don't want this also to end up turning into an interrogation. But like, it's really interesting. A lot of these things, are they out there? Do people know the essence of you being so culturally driven
Yeah.
about, putting the Kalanga culture out there, especially as a young person,
Yeah.
wearing a very nice jersey, I might add.
Yeah.
Out here, you're not
It's
out.
not the jersey, it's me, man. So,
Please. And then you're here pushing
Yeah.
that idea thing because you grew up in it. You're immersed in the culture.
Yeah.
You saw what it can do for your life going forward.
yeah, and the reason why Hongwe I got so immense into the culture as Kalaka is Hongwe, a blessing in disguise. It came as a blessing in disguise. Hore, back at without a father.
Yes, sir.
That's why God, Mr. Simon is my stepfather.
Yes.
I met him when I was, Yes,
sir.
So having at that time I had 4 fathers, and I'm talking about all my 4 uncles.
Yeah.
I think that probably that's why it happened that way.
Yeah.
God Mongole has nicknamed me, for me, and Neba Bonahore. And they really made sure I didn't feel I didn't have a father.
Definitely.
So you can imagine they made sure I have that Kalanganess in check, and I felt the Kalanga culture is my father. It raised me, it raised my thoughts, and I really give thanks for that.
Yeah.
And but now in the household that I grew up, just me trying to explain why, I'm all about Sekalaka, I don't think I've ever said it, that much, but Dumu Woka Kazaha, Kazaha ki bareta. Akrena rona lona lari kwena mitsi akere go kwena go khatleng go kana gate mokhatla khabo sidibelo rona le rona rena le mo re go bitsang nteto re bua ka haelong gore lehokolo ka le dirisang go tlotla ha kere and then gona le ntupo ra sereto. So rona go bokalaka ga rena mtupo ngompela ga rena mo sereto selo wa
Ga le jive so selo one.
nyara ga re jive
Na ke jive kwena.
no jive kwena, but so I mean in most instances re tlwetse ba kwena ba jive kwena, of which ki sort of ba bangwe ko in South Africa and so forth ke nyana ke halela halo ke tlela go sa tshwana
Lengwe
stuff like that. Yeah.
Whatever.
So ko bokalaka we are very diverse in terms of sereto. I'm probably too young to know why, but gona le ba binang tlo gona le ba binang pelo gona le ba binang nna ke bina no ya neng we bidwa go twe chibelu.
Okay.
Chibelu ke ka sekgowa ga ke re bona rona English medium ya tsena.
No,
It's the woodpecker.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, ke sona strato sa ka sone seo.
You know what, the woodpecker's brain never moves, but it's banging its beak on that damn tree.
It's very effective.
Hey, no, I've watched
very
slow
effective.
motion.
It's very effective.
Doesn't stop. It's the same spot. No
yeah.
GD.
Yeah, so ha ke re ndo mo boka bokatsaga ne ke ba leboga hela ke ba bitsa ka sereto sa go gae.
Awesome stuff.
Gore be ba khonne gore ba mphe that strong upbringing ya Skalaka, like it's in good English medium. Some of my other cousins they've gone through the same thing, and one of my cousins or my younger brother hello, that is how strong it is. I can bring the phone out.
No, you can call him.
Hello.
You want to do it?
I can call my other my other cousin.
We're going to make calls. People are using your phone, Solomon.
Okay.
Oh no, we don't want to test it. I think we let's move on because there are some people that I do want to call. Yeah. Ultimately, when we're still on this conversation,
no, we could. We should call either my brother or one of my cousins. How immense we are, you know what I mean? So we could, if you want to. If it's doable sound wise, gents.
No, but let's do it because not as far as Kalanga cats and how they respect that culture thing.
Yeah.
I'm almost in awe
Serious,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? Ube
Yeah,
speaker.
yeah,
Ke iPhone, manya ka ese.
Hey, careful.
15.
I know it's what I use this.
I know. Maybe he won't know it's yours.
Oh shit. Yeah.
Maybe he won't
Let me
know
call
it's
it
you.
mine.
Yes, because he won't know it's you.
Timmy tata kama rasta.
No, because listen.
Timmy tata ka la rasta ban. Bana na kisilo le rasta so tsogore le.
No. Uto bone Lizibo zasena airtime.
Yeah, I'm on post. Do you know what postpaid is?
I'm not, oh Lord God.
And I ke tloga ke bua dingwe tse leng gore.
No, ra go go.
Ra? Nya.
No, we'll test it in just a little bit.
Modrop.
Pepele rago.
Vana una le airtime.
Remember to get yourself some biscuit dubouché.
Kaza hakuchana. Hayi sayikoko. No akuna buthatha mdala ndokulizila ndandi hakawisa badala baba kuthi.
Tell him he's on the podcast.
No, Davila, you're on the podcast. You're on the PODI-CAST. Live on the PODI-CAST.
Yeah, you made it.
So I just wanted them to know how you would answer your Grotman and how it's very important for us to call us, to call each other Kaserai Twagera.
Thank you so much for playing our game. Sure, Pa. Thank you for answering, Ogwa.
Sure, big bro.
Away.
So yeah, so
that's dope, Papa.
That was just me trying to prove hona hore re rutile jalo ha se nna hela. I mean, a lot of young Kalanga cats, if at all hona le beleng gore ga ba ire yalo, it's very important, gentlemen, and I've gotten to understand a little bit about why it's important go bitsana ka sereto thato. Lo ena hela gore one of your cousins ha go leditse, it's very important for you to say mokwena. And
na bang harasa ka yona ka nna nkara I'm the only kwena out here. My middle name is literally that. It's a good thing. And I feel it. And even my dad does it. My mother, everyone.
It's important. And you should be very proud of it.
Yeah.
I remember whenever he's out in Thailand.
Yeah.
The first thing when the first thing he thought was you. Yeah, I mean, look, it's a good outlook. It's a good look.
I really love that.
Yeah.
I think because you're such a complex individual, I want to talk about these things because you're not afraid of complex conversations. Okay, as far as
hey, listen to you. I'm not hey.
Where now?
Yeah,
but okay, maybe before I get to the heavy stuff. All right, cool. When you finish school, what are you trying to do? What are you trying to achieve? Because I think we're not done with the cultural aspect of why you do what you do, and also how it seems like, places are north of Gaborone and a talent north of Gaborone, Francistown, all of that. People are always being ignored, and how you are also an advocate for that. But I want to finish off on the personal aspect of it. And then how did you ultimately,
so
start your life and start living?
It was also one of those blessing in disguise. I did not attend any tertiary school, by the way.
Did you flunk?
I didn't flunk. I wasn't. I was your very average type of a.
What's average? Is C, D?
C. It was a C
is
type.
Is it a heavy C?
Look. I wish we could call on one of my teachers and ask, but all I know about myself is I was a very average student. You know what I mean? Hence why I never really made it to the stage at the varsity.
Yeah.
But thankfully, I was a very active guy in school. Haribuaka, extra
curricular activities.
Activities that when you're talking about sports. Crazy enough, I know a lot of people from my primary days, they're so amazed by my not being a professional football star now. Because back then, I'm telling you,
for real?
Yeah. And then luckily, even the music bug, bit me something gozo in Shambe. I used to 1212 choir ya Tonto Burukuti. Some of you are too young to know it. The choir ya Tonto Burukuti. You know, most of these Tirelo Shaba cats have ile kwena go tla nna le choir nyana. You know, but it was a great program, by the way. Mac, you know, ya Tirelo Shaba, because o ka rena ba fosa gore ba nne le a small yana activity yana, you know. So the choir tsa Tonto Burukuti ba opela dipina tse leng gore in song the ruta the villagers not to be, you know, to be engaged in crime and so forth. So because it was such a heavy thing, leko I remember I think both my primary years I was very strong in music, so I get ultimately
like school choirs and
school
stuff.
Choirs. I mean, Kwele Dumanga I was known. My middle name was school choir.
Yeah, man.
You know, they go pedisa school choir, they go marula manzi, they go pedisa school choir.
How did you realize the voice though?
Like I said,
not everyone. You talk about it like
Look,
and then I just whipped this voice out of my pocket.
Okay.
And then I started working.
Let's go back.
Where did it come from?
Let's go back to the Zwenshabe days. Nguku, my late grandmother, may her soul rest in peace. Georgina Mabuto, God-fearing woman, amazing singer.
Definitely.
Moruti, Omotona, ko kereking biduas, Morning Star, Kita Clap and Tap. So this is how I'm trying to demonstrate where the voice and the singing comes from.
Yes, sir.
So Zwenshabe kerekenetsa na molape. You know?
The Holy Spirit came to your crib.
You know what I mean? Holy Spirit Sunday. Not it was Monday to Sunday.
Oh my word.
So my grandmother this was how she was. Before Jawa thought Mina Toko Kapa Pina Thanksgiving song. You had to sing, and then after the singing you had to thank Belarapela. So imagine
like a devotion type.
Yes.
Thing.
So imagine the singing part, le go rapela, gongwe ka Sunday. Ga ke re no go ntse alo gongwe most of them. But nna it was a Monday to Sunday exercise. And then go Zwenshabe go schooling. The congregation ya Gankuku ko lapeng were my teachers. So ha re boela go schooling bloko ba cha no modi assembling go te go tlhabelediwe. They would look at the shortest nigga, you know. Say, when we say sing, we're talking about you, ninja. You know, and then
you want to make us wait. We
know I mean?
You got it.
Yeah. So, I mean, nobody. Muzenda was a very close knit community. Everybody knew who is Mamueti and how quick she was to. So never it's going down go lapeng.
No doubt.
And I really give thanks to such teachers. So I mean, and then I mean, remember gore bana, you know, ba Gankuku bo lady bo malome le bone only to find out gore le bone go ntse yalo ga opelwa go lapeng. So I get it, my cousins no gonna continuation hela. You know, it's not like I ever had, you know, a conversation what to know when at some point you wanna do music or you're gonna do music. Only, and then the time e leng gore ha ke tsana go rapa. One time Mr. Tag happened to be Mr. Tag ba le strong. You know, I think it was 97, 98, somewhere there. He just happened to be passing by Strata Saro Nako Rapa. You know, Brendo, you know, back in my day, ko Rapa, no class based on the street that you live in. You know?
I sort of got that feeling because the way I visited QBO and my boys.
Oh yes.
Yeah, so I get
classing.
Hey, you
know why?
But it's lyrical miracle.
Exactly. So I think
what was it?
You know what? It was stupid in the sense but it had nothing to do with us. But I did based on the position sailing or body spanning. And then it just went on. So now I was just lucky. Street, you know, the houses are the biggest at the time.
Come on, a lady doing her thing.
I lived with my uncle then.
Okay,
I lived with my uncle doing his thing. So you know, so he happened to be passing by Mr. Tag, and I guess I was watering or I was washing car. That's what he says. And then
we're still to get Tag on the show.
You should. Yeah. And then he knocked. I you know, vividly remember him saying, "Hey, young man, so what are you planning to do with that voice? I think he hoped I would recognize him, but I didn't. I mean, 97, I was probably still doing standard 6, 7, somewhere there.
Yeah.
You know, but...
So this is like 2000 or something? Or
No,
like
you're 99s, 98, somewhere there, yeah. So I wanted to allude to the Khanya Hore. Maybe that's when I started having that idea, Hore, okay, maybe I want to do music at some point. Or the seed being put in, you know, in the soil. That conversation I've never been able to forget. And then after that, like in some, you know, the Pampiri. I'm like, this cat came on, you know what I mean?
Crib,
Came to my crib, and he didn't come to my crib specifically. He was passing by. So I mean, with that thing sticking in my head, and then moving back to Gabs, you know, where like Brando said, this is where everything was happening. You know, combining that idea, I'm about to shock you, bolo, not so much hoopela, but hoopela more traditionally, more right. And I was the best at that time. I remember we went for the national, regional competitions. I think then I won best dancer. I'm about to shock you. But let's traditional culture space. He used to be my coach.
You're gonna have to call these people because like number.
I'm just trying to So
we're still here with you. But then so it wasn't really only about the voice.
No,
it was also about the showmanship.
That's why luckily I was a very active kid. You know,
you kept busy because
I kept busy.
When others went, how did that make you feel? And how did that fuel your drive to continue? Okay, maybe I do have something here, which is this voice.
Remember,
when everyone now, by this girl.
Oh yes, yeah. So remember me coming back to Gabs and so I got later for whatever reason the parents I think my mom now hit a school. This is like your early 2001s. Something around from 2.
Okay.
2001. So with living Kobo, you know, in the Sequena culture, go participate and things, you know, having been in Gabs for a couple of years, going to a rapper, being exposed to Wonobo Tag, you know, your ghetto flavors, you know, coming back to Gabs to live with my stepfather, who was then who happened to be the founding member of the KTM choir.
God damn.
You know, so that's what I can you know,
because but you can imagine now being an older person
and he was
to
like,
pick up a kid.
Yeah, he was like, I'm not about to miss my practices because
nigga,
of
let's
this
go.
Ninja. Let's go, ninja. So with that, years, the late Khomolemo Motsoaledi's younger brother, Mr. Hape Motsoaledi.
Yes, sir.
Coincidentally, he's the choir guy, choir teacher. So
you know, I think sometimes we don't understand what grandmothers and carry like each other.
More serious. It's a more nyenyana.
I mean, like
she planted it. Yeah, everything. Yeah.
Everything just really,
yeah. So,
back to happy.
So Mr. Motsoaledi, he was the one doing the choir. Then I think I get in 2001. He was transferring out in about it's the Temelo one. So I spent Temelo one and then he realized he seems to have a bit of light, you know, in terms of hopela. Of which at the time a guy. But luckily so my stepdad and my mom at the time was not popular back then. You all used to mock us. Yes,
sir.
Some other derogatory, and so forth. That's one of the churches. Yeah, that's one of the churches that really cultivated, you know, muo, and they made sure they water the seed in jalo kuzo in shambe. So the church was a very...
Hold up, you're not just going to pass Gudaramwari like that.
Yeah, no, I'm going into it. Yeah.
Because the concept that I really don't understand what it's about as well.
I will explain as small that I know. So that's when I'm living with my mom and my stepdad at the time, my form 2, early 2000s, very early 2000s. Luckily enough, Nabatsana kereki, kapaneresana kereki ya Gudaramwari. Gudaramwari ke eleng gore they are very immense mo go opeleng. Ke tle ke bona batho ba I think people are probably only exposed to kereke Old Apostle. Ere bitsang re phula mlenza. Wa opelwa morena kwa.
You ne bana le go ira ka di aluminum what selling or usually you don't even need a big place. You can even use in your yard.
No.
It's not that one.
No. Phula mlenza ke Old Apostle ke kereke ya go apara disutu, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, so people are only exposed to Old Apostle. Gudaramwari, there is just as much singing as there is go Old Apostle. I can promise you. Definitely. So that is, I think, because we held competitions. I know other churches do that, and good enough. But I think Gudaramwari, we would compete with churches branches Zim, South Africa. Yeah. So Lohoko Gudaramwari, let me score you.
Yes, sir.
Is Shona. Guta means high. I know you have Shona friends.
Don't be getting in my business.
Yeah, so the word Gudaramwari. Guta means lechaye. Ra is la, you know. Muari modimo. So Gudaramwari means chaela modimo. So that's what it means. Yeah. Masole amudimo. Hence why the khaki uniform le such a thing and thipa moteng no go sna sepe, but it's just to symbolize gore ke masole amudimo.
That's sort of like the fruit of the Nation of Islam. Minister Farrakhan.
Oh yes.
Like protect them.
Yeah. So I'm too young probably to know most of it, but I know what that name is, and why.
Why do you think the controversy then came with it? I mean, and did people in the church even care? And did your friends know you went there?
Oh yes. I think close friends or neighbors, probably neighbors, because I would see neighbors probably knew or with that stigma, but I've never really understood why. But there wasn't really too much mention of it. I only remember Baholo would always encourage us, or don't listen to what people say. And this is what we stand for.
Yeah.
And people don't know about that church, bruh. The discipline.
Yeah.
The discipline, I think I almost equate it almost as respectfully as I am. I would want to equate it maybe to Islam.
Yeah.
They have certain ways in which they do things.
Yeah.
Some of these things, being lichichi, I guess. Yeah. I mean, they were very big on us not indulging in any sexual activities until you got married. I remember they are couples. My brother Bailon Hori, they got married back then, and there was a system where they would bring in professionals to check. And I give thanks to such.
Yeah, come on, that's invasive. In this day and age, with this woke culture,
would
be a problem.
You say, I'm no longer part of the church, so I don't know how they have being inclusive.
I know.
Looking at the times back in my day, early 90s.
But it's not for us to judge. Also, if you're not in there, you have to choose to be in a certain setup.
Now I was just trying to equate to some of the places that are really think. You know, some of the structures that I went through. I'm sure, Lena, you didn't know about it. I don't speak too much about it.
Yeah.
But I should. Yeah, I mean, I think. And in fact, you know what? I think, you know, I really owe the Gutaramuari, community. No, I mean, I wanted to say not cult.
I'm playing.
Yeah, I wanted to say community. Yeah. I really owe them a great deal. Yes. You know, and I don't talk about it. I don't give them that credit enough. But I've always been very you know, grateful. And I am telling you, bruh, I don't think have I not gone through Khotana Gutaramuari and, you know, singing Kokere Kinyela, I don't think I would be who I am musically right now.
Yes, sir.
That's how strongly I feel about it.
Yeah.
And like I said, but they only know, you know, Old Apostle as one of those very strong, you know, when you don't know, obviously, yeah. But you should know.
Hey, let's come on.
Everybody was probably thinking on. I hope that was a Sunday. How baptize you? I'm like, hey, when are we finishing?
Oh God! It was a Saturday, and I had events. Funny enough, but what's really crazy about it is like I haven't told anyone when I came out from under there, and when we were being baptized when we were Kingdom City, it was like, yo, man, it was overwhelming.
Yeah.
And also it was a room full of people supporting what I'm doing.
Yeah.
You know, it's like a rebirth of some sort. You know my my life, you're my bro. Yeah. But like it's like a rebirth, and I really don't care what anyone then says about it. You know, but like I can have a laugh with my homies about it because like I would never have done that if it was like the old times. And I think that's what brings me to your spirituality. Are you still a spiritual guy? Just before we then digress into
I'm very much
later life.
I mean, I hope you can see how, you know, my demeanor changed.
Oh, there's a chain on there.
Yeah, there's a chain there. Yeah. How my demeanor changed when I spoke about my Gutaramuari days.
Yes, sir.
You know, because that was a very, very, very intense. You know, I had a very intense, you know, spiritual upbringing. Honoko Gutaramuari. You know, you know, there were times where I mean, I don't really remember how our household, like in Nakorapa, how religious it was. Korapa, it was more of I think what was awoken was my sportsman, you know, my sports sides and my creative sides, my creative juices. But Hosimula Kuzo in Shambe, and then the time I spent in Mohaburuni, I was very spiritually grounded because, like I said, the Gutaramari community, very small, but did everything together.
Yeah, nearly community among them.
I would equate it, you know, the Kahabair and Dioka thing and how the close-knit they are. It's like Muslims. They help each other. You know, you would have sleepovers. We would have, you know, clean sleepovers. You know,
of course, there's someone thinking like,
yeah. But you know, but I really look, and this is probably this is the first time I've ever spoken about that side of my life.
We appreciate that, Papa.
You know,
we appreciate that.
And I think the reason is because and I would just want to congratulate you, gentlemen and lady. Your lady is normally here, but she's not here today.
Yeah, she's working
but I just wanted to congratulations, you know, guys. Congratulate you for the great job. I think thus far the podcast is really doing great things.
Thank you, Pa. Whatever, man. That's when I'm interrupting the guest because I know too much.
Yeah. So that's probably why I felt very, you know, comfortable talking about that part of my life. And I mean, we've known each other for the longest.
Yes, sir.
And I thought that today I'm just going to talk about my time Kogutaramuari and how lebabona lebaleboge.
Make sure you nabile ka go etana kong.
Lebaleboge le re lebogela gore be le godisitse Lizibo kopelo ga go le bona ile kana ke bona right.
And rabaleboga all the time. Big up yourselves, guys. Yeah, right. I want to get into how then you're in Gabs now. You know, music is definitely not giving you money. I don't know if KTM is giving you money. You got to find a job. how then do you decide on the job that most of us found you at?
Yeah.
Your services industry, and then ultimately you continue to then beat all of us in our own game. You know what I mean? I want you to break that down. You know, how did you?
I started retail. Retail.
Where did you work? Which places did you go?
I'm about to tell you how I got into retail. You know, when I finished my Form 5, 04, 05, somewhere there. My brother didn't do too good, like I said. I was an average guy. You know, I was an average guy. You know, ultimately it happened. So after that, I remember my mom was like, no, bro, I got to take you back to school because my mom is a huge academia, you know. But somehow I had a great relationship with my mom. At the time, I was like, look, I've got a younger brother and I know you know, you're a single mom. Because, you know, why? You know how us firstborns, we are always deputy parents, assistant parents. I think at that point, I just thought, well, no, now I'll be fine. I don't know what I'm like, no, I'll be fine. Save that money for Ntwana Yaka in case he doesn't do good because you're a single mom.
Yeah.
And then one of my mom's brothers, Mr. Mabuto, Morgan Mabuto, go rangere. Wa gopola story se ne go se bolela wa boraro.
Wa boraro mo.
Go tweng mo tino, go tweng go tla tweng.
Wa bona re ano ke yana ke Morgan.
Nya ke o ska bona go ntsana ba nna la se khwalo na le ngile tlhokega o itse go garaga. Go garaga. Especially la se khwa. So he and his wife, you know, together with some of their other relatives, beba from our curry pot. A lot of us like curry pot. Yeah.
Yo.
Yeah. So she's buenas. But
is curry pot still up? Like curry pot was one of the biggest catering companies.
When you talk about catering
my goodness.
industry, I think they probably pioneered that. You know,
my king, it was everywhere.
Yeah. So doing and then finishing my Cambridge, not doing too well. Luckily, it was either wako khai. This is how the Mabuto household was. Le the Tiboni household, because Wara Tiboni, you know, they were in-laws. So my uncle and his wife, you know, major shareholders in the company, they started the company.
Yeah.
So Koharon and Ere Otswala, it was either wako khai kapa December before ra ko gae no go nna le matiara ha ba maka ka report ne tshwara tendera ya teng so ne re ya gona go ra go tshwara di casual jobs. So luckily
you guys,
oh yes, of course we I mean, obviously there were times where ka report I simolola, like literally I simolola wana go poso ya broadest. I think the first outlet Fernmat, yeah. Restaurant the Eastern Delight.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
on that line
the first one. Okay. So that's where Curry Pot started.
Okay.
So I think probably this was 97 or so. So I'm just going back to Hanover. Me and my cousin Balibi Mabuto when we would visit my uncle Mokaboroni, Francis Town. And at that time we didn't care about Zaga.
Yeah.
We would rice le chicken, you know. So I mean,
dope.
So not doing well in my Cambridge, it was just God's intervention. You know, my mom and her siblings had other things going on. So because I was a regular, I couldn't get tasty my diano.
Time to go to
the holiday.
Yeah.
So the minute I no, I don't think school is for me. She was like, right. She picked up the phone and called my uncle. He's like, hey, Kazakh, Tamili, his name is Tamili. He was like, oh, really? Okay, we'll see. They threw me into the deep end. I remember my first job was a waiter, go biak.
Okay. Hey.
Yes.
Hey.
I worked there, I think, for a good year or two. Yeah.
The one down the street from UB.
Yes. So I worked there. That was my...
Doing what? With catering?
Yeah, catering.
Superman.
Yeah.
How old are you now at that time?
Probably 19, 20, 21, somewhere there.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is where the lessons begin.
This is where the lesson... Yeah, true. Yeah, you know. So that's when I started, jobbing gigs originally. Bank account, my dad saying on my bank account thing, of which sometimes, when I'm sleeping, I ask myself whether it was the best decision, because one thing, I don't want to be out here and look bad and to be a bad, influence on the kids, because education it's a very important part of our life. But I hope they know the biggest lessons in life, when you need to have a certain type of relationship with life. You have to see life in a better way. Don't ever sell yourself short. I know guys out there with papers, but because their attitude towards life is stinking, they will never amount to anything in life. You know what I mean? So with me going the Cariport way, so right. From Cariport, and then I think my first retail job from Getsahonuku Hospitality, the restaurant business, nika berekela ku hey we do namona bo Lizibo tsa maile mon ngile ka bereka mo consenting one na go diala International Times. And nowadays I look at these scamming outlets. And guess what? Hore in rano ke batho ba letsole he consentate.
Is it Orinoco?
No. Orinoco ke tsa go mpiko hela na tlamona.
You were in deep.
Car, we were dialing international.
What were you telling these people? What were you trying to sell them?
At the time, we will not say what institution it was, but at the time we were dialing what way we are selling mortgages. So you'd call American time. American time. I think Indian time and stuff like that. So now I was dialing American time. My middle name is Glenn. So Glenn, with my surname then being Simon,
it was easier.
So we had our manager Anand Singh. I'll never forget him. His Anand Singh. He was this Indian dude who had an American accent. I guess you know how Indians are very synonymous with these call center things.
Definitely.
So then he says Wena. They didn't give me a different name because luckily I already had a middle name as Khoa, and then the surname Simon they changed it about an S, an extra N, and then an S. More like Simmons. So I would call and say, I'd call and say I'm Glenn Simmons. I'm calling you because I don't remember the script. Simple, but all I know is the idea was for me to get that person interested enough, and then I connect with somebody in the States. So that's how we got paid.
The business,
the business. So and then
it was commission based. After
and then from there, that's when my mom so imagine
because of the time difference.
So and stuff. It's application ya go berekela go nere ke a go rekisa di loan ko Barclays re iswa ke letsatsi mo it's already formal but one thing about that job, it taught me mahoko like okay I berekela ko bankeng. I was like kuna go 90k k you I just have to give thanks to that job because it taught me and just being a kid at that time, understanding how a house is financed, how somebody gets equity from doing this or paying, how cars, just seeing people's pay slips at the time, understanding how the financial world is. It was a very huge eye opener for me.
One thing, I saw someone talk about the exact same experience. About the University of Life. You get in a course at a university, and then this is the curriculum. This is what you're supposed to learn. It's a BA in economics and whatever. You have to learn how to. University of Life, you need to be open to it. You know, you can honestly be sitting there and you're not learning anything. You're just there. So for you to be able to pick that up, you know, that's credit to you.
Amen.
Because some niggas is just literally put in rooms where they have an opportunity to actually grow.
Listen, to the young ones, you know, school is a great thing, but you also the biggest thing you need to apply yourself. Like if you have a very negative and stinking attitude towards life, you'll never amount to anything. So which is why when these little things, I think you know such banks, you know what it's absa now. Hey, the bosses, you know. So those were the times I know I learned all these financing and stuff. It was incredible for me to know these things. And then from there, that's when I went on to OBW, Orange, Botswana. That's when I started my my call center career. I worked there for about 3 or 4 years. You know, great things happened there. I met great things, like great people like yourself, Mampizi won't say, but he used to come down there from meeting me in these, you know, backstage, like backstage guy then. You know, he would come to Orange, you get like a Blackberry because I was Orange guy, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no doubt.
So,
no, people come, you know what's crazy about that is that like everyone who remembers that version of your life and where you are right now, it always like poof, blows them away.
Serious,
But when at that point in your life, was the music in
was.
Were you still at KTM?
Oh, yes.
What were you doing for your music?
Yes. Yeah, I was still very much of KTM. You know, I was recording in these, you know, underground studios, trying out just like any other guy. You know what I mean?
What music did you record first? Because I think Apollo Diablo believes that he recorded a song with you before everyone. I'm not sure if it's Diablo.
He's very right.
Chasing the Dragon.
Okay, Chasing the Dragon was probably my first commercial feature, yes.
Chasing the Dragon.
Chasing the Dragons, yeah.
Drug abuse before drugs
and
became
I didn't,
a thing.
by the way, Kazaha, Apollo, I didn't know what Chasing the Dragon is until the song was out, guys.
Chasing the Dragon is like chasing that feeling.
Got it. At the time, I didn't know what it meant because he's just my homie from Francistown. You know, actually we met because of me living in Francistown for about a year or so. In between, you know, after failing my Form 5, you know. And then there was a guy called Brown Steak of Francistown. Okay. Brown Steak was like, you know, the ghetto producer guy, you know, in the streets. And then Sounds' younger brother, Ndopi, Brian Mabuto, he's the one who introduced me to Brown Steak. So that's how we started fongling with the recording scene in Francistown. And then I'm about to shock you up. The director of Petro Hyper. I know he wouldn't have a problem with this. Mr. D-Max. He had a small studio for me and Bonebondo, Libo, Brown Steak. Actually, that's where I met Apollo in Francistown. Because students are D-Max. So that's one of the people, probably I would not be here, D-Max, without him having that studio. I probably wouldn't have, you know, continued. That was the first time I Mike recorder in his studio, you know, Francistown. Remember Francistown compared to Gabs didn't really have much.
There wasn't a lot of activity going on.
Actually, I think that's where I met your Apollos. There were great guys back then who held Francistown down. There was a duo, maybe Chilapo. Oh my God, you're taking me back. Those guys were called Chilapo. They were like a hip hop, Kalanga hip hop duo. Strong guys, never rapakas kalaka hela. Like your Method Man and Redman, Marakas kalaka. That's I met those guys when I go studio in Sele. People like Firewood, Genwood, King Z. Those were people I met. King Z. I met him in that studio called Francistown. You know, so I get understand about how the music was still there.
So while you're doing this, when you're going to ghetto, this is when you're visiting.
Yes.
Remember.
So so I can take a berega how go Christmas now with Orange, they used to have like in-house talent shows.
Okay.
I want to staff party. And I'll always get either position 3 or position 2. But look at me now.
I want to see the winner.
Yeah.
But like I think everyone who always
Yeah,
comes number
I know
two,
the winners. Where are you now, Nika? But they're my brothers. But you know, oh yeah. Not only did I do the loan thing for Barclays, I also went to stand chat. There was a lady called, I think she's still, I don't think she couldn't possibly. She was my boss then. She used to, you know, smuggle me into these. I want to someone's corporate. She'd call me like, oh, like you were 500 nyana. You know, those are. I had my first corporate gig. Honoko stand chat because of Horata Moshaha, you know. And then Ko Orange, they didn't really give me that much, you know, attention, you know. But I remember the talent shows, I would always get number 2, number 3. But look at me now, like I'm saying. But I get we were talking about how
the music was still there.
Yeah.
But with how then do you ultimately record? Like I can do it then because I think there's a couple of features. There's a couple of features at that time because
before those features,
you've done something before by yourself.
I had, yes. So luckily, remember Hakebala from 2. Kya go tsena ko marula mantsi ki khelara motswaledi. Motswaledi is predominantly KTM. His older brother Seji started the choir. So from 2 waka. He left Marula Mantsi, and then somehow I got the urge to say no. Choir because of the experience I got where Gutaramwari days. Okay. So we like choir, and then I had a choir. Every activity na litishara you know So at the time that na litishara biduare Mr. Molelekwa. Okay. Then nearly Ramapa, I get to Gargama Panihum Pieku, yes. What like in Charalaxa, which is which. Luckily, now, Harry competitioning, he had an old friend of his, Nat and a KTM. Okay. Hat and a KTM, Harry lady the competition. I remember no Lukomulifi, Kyo Pedisa. So he, you know, I think this teacher is one of those guys who really saw the future. He started calling me maestro from that time. Maestro kana is just a word diriswang in the music fraternity. You know, the one who knows it. Yeah,
who knows what he's doing.
So harloko muchudi kwa kapanelego piku, I think. He spoke to Junior Mukali. Hey, can I got this kid? This guy is extra. I don't know where he gets it. He's a young guy, but I've never seen it. Luckily, hona le category. So the category say hona le go simula ka primary school choirs, hona le BTO. Is it BTO? BTU.
Yeah.
Yes, Botswana Teachers Union music competitions. Similar like primary school, then junior high, and then senior, and then community choirs. But KTM was there. By So what
happened? Community choir.
Community choirs. Yeah. So they got a chance to see me conducting. I remember I conducted one of the 2 songs that we competed with. Sanziketana ko Marula Mantsi. So ra tiara ga go bolela mthako gore tlemona bolele ke KTM. Ha ke la ira sengwela thusa ntwana. I think he's just extra. He's so gifted. So Junior got to see me conducting the choir. And then he was like, no. This guy has to be part of the choir. He went to talk to the then conductor, Nelly, Luca Disho, and with Bo Michael Mudisa and stuff. So Mike. So my having being introduced to, and by the way, KTM because my stepfather was one of the
members.
No, I went through the normal audition like everybody else. After they
saw you
conducting, they were like, I remember that was a Friday, if I'm not mistaken. The Sunday, he had hooked me up with an audition. But you see, the thing is with KTM, the constitution 18 and above, but I was still 16 then.
But they were able to sneak you in. I think maybe it was a matter of. I think you can't sign contracts until over 18.
Oh yes, but ultimately they went to my mother and asked for permission. My mom was like, "Nope, The brother is already not doing too good in school.
Like the
So you have to go. You're gonna have to wait until I hate. So they pleaded until only they are okay sharp. Now in KTM, I like because over 60% of the KTM members enough, old enough to be my parents.
Yeah.
So I remember meeting in Golaping, I give thanks to him every time. We do a Tupan, Mr. Tupan. She would say, I grew no teacher, we're not teacher, Mukaling, he was a nurse in the military. When I make sure when he's with you, I'm giving him to you. Mwana gaskata gwana haka to hasalwali. Hata na gwaska ba Emma o teacher tupanike atwa wena make sure my boy does not slack kuskwili.
Yeah.
So every time Martha go quiring, he would always have to call me aside. So
that's awesome.
It was like that. And then I remember the KTM time lady. I defied her. I continued going to KTM. But the brother go KTM, I didn't put I was like, no. For a whole year, when I was doing my form 3, form 2, I think form 2, yes. And then one of my mom's colleagues, no one concert, community hall, go White City, bidua Babusi Hall.
Yeah.
Hey, Abigail matata kitswere hala mukwena.
Yeah.
Kanti she was in the audience.
Your mom?
No, my mom's colleague.
Your mom's colleague, yeah.
I remember at the time because
oh Lord.
Yeah. So I'm visiting one of my other cousins who go BDF. I can't know quite no dirisiwa the landline go sena di megala tech. So calling ha ile gore go motsadi wa go ga ene ga lena landline go lapeng. Gore she would wait until I go spanning again. So there is no landline mara ne gitsura gona ka tlhola gore a ke ile kwa. So na ke ile concert.
Yeah.
What Monday? Because ne ka tla ka wa le pining ngwana re ga te mama timpele gala ngwana kyo. So
what am I doing? I'm putting kids in Lizibo. Mama T need to stop me.
Yeah, so Mama T it has soprano Mama timpele, and then alto Mama T, and then tenor Mama T, and then bass Mama T. So the person who normally sang the tenor part that day happened to be not around. So now I'm just relaxed. Harapalamas the conductor says, "Hey, Zibo man, that's it." I'm like, "Okay, sharp.
This is it."
I hit it off the park. I impressed everybody.
Yeah.
Kante, one of my mom's colleagues is in the audience. Monday, I can't hide or lady hide to get on a KTM at the time. And I get about the KTM and Gutula. Neki Barile got a lady do met at the time.
Yeah.
Told my mom, "What are you doing, Bizarre? Wait, are you talking about my Lizibo? Where? Saturday, Kokai." Namara na gazana gola peng go chenchile hela boss. Ke go chenchile bile ka go pletsa tsile teng. A o darile Devones ka scooter. O jetse go room.
Abata bontsha ntwane gore wa ntwela sana.
The next day there were uncles ba ile ke bona kule ya bona gola peng ke something is not right,
Yeah.
So with KTM, coming to KTM now, we then got the opportunity to work with Tsapolo Sole who produced the third album at KTM Choir.
Okay.
That's
they were dropping albums as well.
Yeah. How old are you?
No, listen.
KTM, for those who don't know, I think KTM has 4 albums now. Let me finish. 4 albums. You're too young, obviously, to know what KTM is.
No, go ahead. Just go wrong.
Like really, bruh.
No, where were they selling them?
What do you mean? Where were they selling them?
Where were they distributed?
Starting at KTM?
I think I've seen one project before, but Matata.
So you're out here saying they were
who was marketing? Who was putting it on advertising?
Okay,
where was it played? Okay, maybe I think sometimes
Radio.
with choral music, there's not a a place where you can actually.
True. I think it was the same. I remember Lloyd Hammaloba. Now back then, the only person was Ming Hai. Obviously, Bonagre, they were not. Machayana back then, they were not exposed to choral music.
Even hip hop, like I left 10 tapes. I think 10 tapes go Mau on credit. I never went back for that money.
Serious.
First of all, the money I think can't make a trip to Mau.
Yeah, exactly.
So they were very, very
I used to say
popular music.
How much they were selling. I was like, yo, these guys back then, in sales.
No, a lot of people were really, really selling Franco as well.
Making a killing from that.
Yeah, but when okay, so this is how you get into getting into a studio.
Through KTM. KTM has TB Robi albums at KTM. Teddy recorded before my time, my stepdad's time. There's TB Robi and then there is Batswana. TB Robi, pinating why it's
that Batswana song that's always playing. Come on.
Which one?
Batswana,
no. Everybody made in the music world, right? Sort of interpretations. There's the original one, and then Stampura had his. KTM, and then they had Batswana, Batswana, yeah. So everybody has. They had that.
Maxi. Does Maxi have one?
Yeah, Maxi also has one.
Maxi has
so it was
version.
all about arrangements. Yeah. So there's, I think, I'm not sure whether between Tibiro Batswana, KTM, which one came first. Mara, the oldest album, Batswana, Tibiro, and then Nahagetanam KTM. I think Molodi Wakoma. That's when I met T-Less. Studio Sibidua Tracks, Studio Saha Dediski. People don't know what T-Less was he was taught programming Dediski.
Definitely.
Yeah, you'll have to bring him on one time.
No, I saw the whole movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So that's how I got into the space here. I want to record. After meeting him, because this guy, he's the one who produced Matidiso, and Matidiso has always been one of those songs like writes,
Matidiso.
What is that thing?
I just heard a sound. Word has it that you wrote that jam.
What? Who said that?
Word.
Wrong word.
Okay, because
wrong word. Maybe the reason why.
Man. The guy who sang the song.
Khotla.
Yeah, because Khotla never dropped music after that.
No, he did.
What did he drop?
He dropped a song in One Tlantana, and then he also had a song on.
I know that one. Yeah.
Yeah, he also had a song on album Betulala. Yeah, he also had a song in that. I mean, look,
that's him.
We will know. Yeah, we'll not know why.
Okay, so when you meet Tsepo,
yeah,
I want you to fast forward a little bit because I want to know how then you decide what Lizibo, man. Yeah. I'm going to release my music. Now
I'm going to go back now. Remember, the seed was planted Korapa.
Yes, sir.
By who? By Mr.
Tag.
So luckily, it never really went away. Yeah. My knowing about Matidiso, the little that I got to know, I don't know what year it is, but one of these guys, I think you can fact check. Okay, check out Pina dancing with my father. I remember I once sang that song for Mampizi and Gahiso. It's until Mampizi and Gahiso back.
What a song selection!
But look, dancing with my father at the time. My star, my African dream.
Is it Luther Vandross?
Luther Vandross, yeah. I don't know what year it was, gentlemen.
That's with my father, Luther Vandross.
Whatever year that was, that's the year that I met Mampizi, the then girlfriend, and poor Mampizi, like, oh, baby, we're going to go blind. But he couldn't do anything about it. I understood.
That's the best Mampizi impression ever.
No, there's no way.
We need to have a feature. We need to have a feature on the show for the Mampizi moment.
Bruh.
Because everyone has a Mampizi
story, yeah. So my knowing about gents, what year was that? 2003, yes, 03, yeah. Poor Mampizi, ke kopana le ene, ke mo auditionela, you know. It was one of those spur of the moments thing. You see a superstar and you want to show your you
can do
you know,
this
but
thing.
yeah. But luckily we became friends from there.
Yeah.
You know, you'd see me in other places and you'd remember me.
It was a height thing.
Yeah, so going back to the moment when I met Mr. Tego Rapa, and that idea, and then me coming to meet Tsapolo Soil and Akwa KTM, I guess the idea had always been there, but I had not really thoroughly decided I want. So when I met Tiles, seeing studio is different from Sarona ko ghetto, you know. I remember neresnaleli boothi nere bohella mogala yana mo dropung, you know, like the trasingana to pad the sound, you know. So my going to tracks.
Those are the OGs of
yeah,
what
you know what I mean?
Ghetto is now, man.
Exactly. So my
shout out, man.
Shout out to D-Max, man. And Neribita D-Max Studios. Maloba, he was turning 50. Not 50 Maloba, D-Max. Yeah, get out la lampola. The death row guy, no,
Swiss Knight.
Swiss Knight. Yeah, he felt like a Swiss Knight, you know.
You know
having all these cats at his home, you know what I mean?
Come and rap, young man. So, I got the stuff.
So me seeing like a real studio now, I think it was like, yo, this is the moment. Corny, I go to go tracks on booth. Yeah, you know what I mean?
There's space for a drum set in the booth.
You can actually literally run.
You can run in there.
So,
what are you trying to run for?
No, I'm just saying.
Actually brings me to like, okay, no.
Yeah. So the whole choir is in there, I get it. The whole choir is in there. It's huge, you know what I mean? And, you know, shout out to Daddy Ski. I think he was probably the only studio at the time in the Silicalo, you know. No, I'm wrong. Madhat, yes.
Yeah, but how many hits came out of there?
Where are the hits?
It can be a big house, but where?
But you know what? We've never even actually spoken about how coincident it was.
And no one came to each other's studio.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think that was the moment when the whatever cracked.
Yeah.
I had a conversation with Tiles or, hey man, can you look KTM? Because I had a feature in the album.
Yeah.
Ari, he was a bit intrigued. Until I came to him and, you know, tried to explain and, you know, what does it take? This is the conversation I had with him. And I hope youngsters are listening. When you meet somebody who is already established, it's not always about
industry.
You spoke Maloba talking about giving a fish to a man. Somebody said no to teach the person how to fish.
How to fish. That was, I think,
now my conversation with Tiles was, what does it take to be a musician? What does it take for me to record and stuff like that? And he taught me the ropes. Orange, remember? I think I salary 3,000 back then. And he was like, look, you'll pay me in installments. His reasoning for doing that was because he saw something in me.
Yeah.
So now about my dear nan charge 5,000 or 6,000 for album. So I do like Rihanna.
Yeah.
Kiriana. So that's how.
At least you had an income also.
Exactly.
You invested in yourself.
Exactly. So I'm trying to say to the youngsters, have a conversation. Try and get knowledge from what that person is. Don't jump to If you're a younging and you want to speak to an OG like SCAR, ask him, what were your challenges back then, big guy? So that if it so happens, you are where he used to be, it makes sense for you to know,
that's all we ask.
That's all we ask. You know what I mean? And I gotta be gents. You know, I always feel so sad when I see a younging and Facebook. Little money ke eitara Lizibo, you know, how level profile but you know, the respect always needs to be there. and then go for informative stuff. How it's an studio on Lizibo, what's an studio on Livi, it's just an hour thing and boom. You didn't learn anything.
Yeah.
Try as much as you can to understand history to you.
Yeah.
Because the best teacher is experience, but you don't have to experience it.
Yeah.
That's why before you. Bone how saba malating ala gale bagolo ba fila gore re rutegile. They are just, keeping the knowledge.
All of it, because gape ba tshaba go
But
bua le rona,
ba
because
roga ka
re tlo gore ba roga.
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So this is me just trying to say to youngins, try and create rapport, show that you have interest
Yeah.
in the music business. We are no longer in the music industry.
Yeah.
And for you, you have the interest in more music businessing, ask. How you rapping who is bigger than you? I'm telling you, it always happens. The person, one of the songs which were very big, people used to think that song was mine. I get what Yuri. So but there's the overshadowing
name of the jam,
aspect.
Ghana?
I don't know which song you're talking about, but
I'm talking about Yaga Yuri.
What are you relaying?
Ibidu amang.
Masadi, yeah.
That's the one.
So I'm just trying to say you have to be very.
Shout out to Yuri, man.
Shout out to
Cover boy.
Tebza, yeah. So these are some of the things that I'm talking about. You need, otherwise the person is going to overshadow you, and then you didn't learn anything, bruh.
So you murdered him on his own shit.
Hey, so you better cut this out. You know what I mean? So
no, Yuri's hip hop. He knows this stuff. Niggas be out here get him washed.
Yeah, I didn't
on
say
their own
it.
stuff.
I didn't say it, Mr. Mutsisi.
No, he's got other businesses. This rap stuff he's done with. He's doing his thing.
So yeah, back to the
Eminem and Jay.
That's how I met T-Les, and then ultimately.
Ooh, and that's how T-Les produced that jam. Your name, the one with Yuri, I guess he produced that one too.
No.
So I'm trying to see if that's around the same time.
He didn't produce it.
Okay.
He didn't produce it. Technically he cleaned it up a bit. We recorded that song somewhere. Kago Broti. Studios, I think, it's not only a lot of pit bulls. I don't know if you.
Oh goodness.
Yeah.
Bazamela Records.
I know it was a hip hop studio.
Bazamela Records.
Yeah, it was a hip hop studio, and I got there. I remember when you recorded that song. Fun fact, guys. Fun fact, gents. Yeah. That song, I think the hook. I think I did it like 5-6 times.
Yeah.
In the song, but it took over 2-3 hours to record. You know why? That guy had to literally leave us in the studio at some point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's a lot of music in that studio that a lot of people I wish could see the light of day. ATI used to record there a whole lot.
Are you serious?
Yeah, Bazamela Records, yeah.
Yeah.
He was the one who made the...
I hope it is, because I don't remember.
No, that is the only place in Broadhurst.
I wish I had Tebza's number. I wish we had Tapologo. I grew up on.
BBS.
And then
left
no.
right.
Yeah, so this was me going back. So but we were talking about how I met T-Les and how the conversation I had with him.
Yes, sir.
Imagine had I just went on and said, "Hey, Brayaga, I want to do a song, blah 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 blah." Look, sometimes it's not wrong to be excited, but I'm just trying to say, take some of these things that we've been doing this for a while, guys, because it worked for us. It most likely will work for you too,
Because when are we definitely going to have a part 2?
Yeah.
Because it's not like I'm shutting it down, but I got to fast forward you.
I know.
Because but I really love
you
how...
did this, man. You know what
It's not going to stop. But I feel like most of what we've been talking about also gives light a lot more to like the individual and how... what shaped you to be the person that you are right now, which is, I think, more important to like these youngins. Even the older people, because we have people who watch the show who have been supporters of a lot of what BW music represents. But hearing the stories and also what feeds into how you became you, I think is more important than saying, okay, I sold this many records, I did this. It's about the human being and the trip that you went through. You know what I mean?
Thanks for that.
And I really, really respect that. Which then brings me on what. So Tsepo literally like popped your cherry. No
Didi.
But like, and you never left.
I never left. You know, I kumnandi baba, kumnandi.
Oh God.
Kumnandi la.
How long has it been now? How many albums are we talking?
2 albums and probably 4 singles. That in the 12 years of working together.
God damn.
12 years of working. I met Tiles before he got married. I think it was just a couple of months him meeting his wife. Then he didn't have a kid. He's got 2 kids now.
He's got 2 daughters.
Who are literally like mine, you know, now. Yeah, so it's been that long. It's been that long.
The 2 albums, just to name
Better
them.
Man and Malebi Swa.
So the first song that broke out. You
know who chose that? I'm about to shock you. You know who chose that single?
Who?
Monster.
Juju. Are you serious? Kana, I know he knows everything about everything.
Exactly.
And he will shout at you like...
Juju Boy happened to pass by the studio one time and play this guy, Lizibo's album. He played the album and Monster was like... He was looking at me, I was vibing. Now I was vibing to this other song, Ibidwa. What's style?
Oh, God.
You remember?
Yeah.
So Monster was like, nah, bruh. That ain't it. That's your song. This is the people's song.
Because that's such a beautiful love song.
Yeah.
Also.
But this is another lesson to youngins. How a recorder, you have to have, you know, that one person who has been there or who understands certain things, who will give you constructive advice. The reason why Kiripina A is 1, 2, 3. A, a lot of us musicians, not even youngings, hella, we have this thing. You know, it happens once in a while. You are vibing with this specific song, and then it becomes big. But in normal instances, it needs to have been somebody else who is not connected to the song. Why you this one is for the masses.
No, I saw that a couple of times with Mitlolo.
Exactly.
I hated that shit.
Exactly.
I wanted to drop. I think I wanted to drop Psycho.
Exactly.
Because it had all of those DJ names on it.
Mostly because you liked it.
I loved it.
Exactly. So
this
this is to say, the music that we record is not for us. Yeah. And I learned this from the late Homole Motoredi. I used to send him a lot of songs, and he would always give me props on a different song. He would not give me feedback on the song.
You always send them.
And then he literally said to me, the reason why I'm not vibing with this song is because but you forget what the music you're making is not for you.
Yeah.
It's for the people. Abantari kana wa go attend the shows are you gonna buy your own tickets? So concentrate on, you know, doing inspirational music and getting people who will give you, you know, that insight that this song is gonna sell, and it's gonna sell because of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. You're going to sell it to this kind of market niche and stuff like that. So this is just me trying to share, you know, part of how I do it. It's never about me. You know what I mean?
It's about the people.
It's about the people. The biggest talent I believe has ever come out of Botswana. It's not for you. It's not about me.
It's not about you. It's about the people.
Yeah.
I want to know about the songwriting process.
Okay.
Because all of these songs are, right now, songwriting is on another level in BW right now. Back then, people really, and I think I understand why Juju Monster realized that was
he's
the
a
jam
creative.
to go
He's
with.
a creative genius.
Because why? He's on, okay, this is a love song, first of all, and nigga, you sing your heart out.
Kalenyalo.
The groove is around that Malaika type groove at that moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How then do you guys go through the writing process with Tsepo?
You know, one thing that I attribute my love songwriting moments to is KTM process. I was literally, like you had said, Khantelore, I was the youngest. So being the youngest, they had to find some sort of because gape ba hilo responsibility ya gore ba ntlhokomele
ba go rute ba go medical care,
exactly
everything.
So I blame it on KTM, and I'm forever grateful. KTM, because ne ke le monyane ne re bukiwa for manyalo, they would use that advantage ya gore ke mokisonyane gape am the youngest. Naturally how ba motho mokisonyane pele ga batho ngwananyana, you know what I mean. So they did that with me, and they would let me lead dipina tsa re bitsang re marabi tsa manyalo, and normally ke dipina tsa lerato. That's why I cultivated the love ya dipina tsone tsa manyalo tsa lerato from KTM days. And then having sang some of those songs hapela ga Tiles gape re bereka le KTM le Tiles, he saw that.
He saw how you guys go about it. Yeah.
So luckily when I went to the studio with Tiles, the first song we recorded was Taxi Mahala Kwariante. So that's how he became Hrotman in that sense. This kid is still very clueless. So he guided me. Because so naturally he led me through that path with the KTM, and then TLS having produced so that's how it started. And then the writing process I learned through the great Tsapolo Sole, the KTM obviously, so I learned, Tsapolo Sole didn't teach me more than I had to learn from listening to him. You know how the arrangement process is. The producer ultimately decides, okay, this is the verse, this is the bridge. You know what I mean? So he would say, no, go back. If it's a love song, make sure most of the song you're talking about something that you know, because we'd always joke about Kijola Mang and stuff like that at the time, you know what I mean? But like you're saying, nowadays the writing process has changed. Now, when I got in the game, you were told you need to write, songs about your personal life. If it's a breakup song, it needs to be a song you speak to the break your heart. Now I did that once and I found it, not healthy for me. Because whenever I had to perform the song on stage, I would cry, you know what I mean? I would cry. And when you're talking about stage aesthetics, people would see it as I'm performing, me kneeling down, and you're one of those guys who never really liked me. Let me tell you something, this guy never really, when we started knowing each other, he hated having me around because now if you don't know, chama boy, or and stuff. But he's good
always
like that.
Clean and stuff, and just doing your thing.
So that's how I ultimately got into writing the love song, through the conversations I had with Tsapolo Sole, the watering that he did. Like I said, I think just having groups at the time, South African groups like Bonamo Malaika, Bo Mafikizolo, your early 2000s, it helped. It helped because I hear it everywhere. So I just happened to so naturally I fell into the Afro pop line. Remember the person who got me to think about recording at some point, Tag, he was also an Afro pop nigga.
Real Deal Records.
So you see, Real Deal, shout out to Unique Attractions. Oh my God, you all need to find those people and bring them on.
Kids go Lilial thing.
Yeah, and then Mamile, she also lives in
No, Mamia Tuli.
Oh my God.
The other one.
Oh, okay.
There was another one.
Divine,
yeah.
Yeah, but Divine,
Soul is out here, man.
Yo, man.
Yeah, Divine. No, it's a Joe niggas, man.
No, just Scalata, not any primary in Yalogo.
Who contribute to the
Eh?
O tshwantse gore go te go jewe.
Ya di bonkisi se nyanyola.
Nnyaa, he bona ka ke ntshitse go na neng yana. Ya
Wow.
R&B ski.
Wow. And ya go supetsa gore ga sa ga go make.
Listen, be your own niggas, man. Be your own fucking niggas. A re tswelle da sa.
Sorry brawa ka. Sorry brawa ka
I don't take it. No, I'm not taking it. Ke business. I want to get into okay, cool. Coming from Zwenshabe, do you think it's easier now to break into the industry than it was back then as compared to what you had to go through? Because I don't think I would have made it if I went through all of the stuff that you went through to make it to a point where you're at.
There's two parts to that answer. Given, the social life, I'm talking about social media or the online lifestyle. I think if I was to talk about that, it's easier to break into the industry because you literally don't need anybody's permission nowadays. Gatekeepers. Hey, you may think you are a gatekeeper, but think about it. If I was to do a song right now and put it online, people start liking it. Radio stations are going to find a way of finding me and say, hey, we need, a radio version of this song.
Yeah.
Back then, we needed to find places that record the songs, no Sena, Facebook and stuff like that. Yeah. So right now, I think that's why it's a two-part thing. Right now, it's easier in the sense of, there's a bit more English media.
Is it space? I don't know.
Exposure.
Yeah, exposure and platforms that you can just
platforms. That's the word.
on.
Platforms. That's the word I was looking for. So it's easier in that sense. Two, we are a lot more in terms of it's harder. I think it's harder now than then. That's when I get the two-part answer. It's easier in the sense of the platforms. You don't need anybody's. The only person you need to give you permission is Mark Zuckerberg to say yes. You can have an account. TikTok, so it's easier in that sense. So I think it's easier in that light. But there are a lot. If I look at Nagohagi Simolola, I think who was singing? I found.
Dingo?
No. I'm talking Afropop.
Oh, Afropop.
Eugene Jackson. Eugene was probably the only one who was doing it at the time. And Eugene Brando. I get it. He was the generation AU. I came after him.
That's really why you're here also, by the way. Because I don't think anyone else pushed it that high as far as you're an Afropop and also using
I'm humbled, sir.
And which is why your name is one of those songs that stay with me. And I used to play it religiously on radio just because of the simplicity. Because as a songwriter, I pay attention to how we write.
Naturally so, because you are also a songwriter.
But with Rona sometimes, I just feel we overcomplicate things. And when I Eugene, Brando, we're able to simplify it. Because there was a time where he felt Botswana was not palatable for music. And that's why we had a lot of guys singing and rapping in Zulu.
Yes.
Because nobody feel there's a lot of
I'm glad you spoke about that because but we need the next generation not to forget these indigenous languages. It's very important. I think a lot more of youngsters malatinga
you sound old.
I am.
Isn't that then mean you're losing connection with what it is that we're supposed to serve?
No, you know what? I come from a generation plant the tree but understand that you might not enjoy the shade. I come from that generation. They want to do and enjoy themselves now. They're forgetting
what's wrong with that though.
What's wrong with that is you're not thinking for the future generation. You will lose that Setswana authenticity. You're going to lose it. That's what I come from a generation where plant that tree, but don't think you're going to enjoy the shade. I come from that time, you know what I mean? So, and I'm not saying they shouldn't sing Kasokho, but don't forget to promote your own languages also, because that is ultimately where you come from.
But then with that said, do you think then you need to be in gaps to be able to do your thing, because ultimately conventional mediums like your newspapers and your radios, we can't imagine them away. They still exist. Even if we are creating other pathways where people can be able to access your music and you can independently do this yourself. The guys who've been running this shit for years are literally trying to show you that, yo, you still have to check with us. So would you say you can easily start a career in ghetto and be able to sustain it from ghetto, or at one point you need to come down to gaps?
Yeah, well, on that one,
on that
one,
and then just to fill it up, MOD, Double MP, very close friend of mine.
I know he moved.
Yeah, he moved to ghetto. I saw him on Romeo Stanner's podcast. Yes, we checking your shit out, pa. Shout out, man. All the way in ghetto. I'm a supporter of all these cats, man. You know that.
You're an OG, bro. You're old. Look at you trying to make me seem like you're old, and you're older than me.
You're making me forget my point. That's how old I am.
All right.
So what happens with these niggas is that, like, oh God, it's gone.
Who is old now?
All right. So what this nigga was saying, Emo was saying that it's okay, you can do it from there. But the thing is that I don't think it was a fair analysis because he's experienced
both worlds.
So I want to get but it just looks easier.
Well, maybe you need to find somebody who started there.
Romeo Stana.
Okay, yeah.
Hey.
Romeo Stana. Okay.
Kind of IKalanga. Those boys. Okay, some of the ones that have been rapping in King.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I get it.
Okay.
Maboko.
Oh, okay.
So
shout out to him.
He's been doing his thing for a while, but like because Hakwano, I don't know why it doesn't. Buxton now moved. I think he moved out of town. He went to, I think it was a Mawu or something. I'm not sure where he's been living at. You know, he's been living out of town. But for him to push this album, he literally had to come down to Gabs. You know, I saw him do like a press tour. You know what I mean? So I always wonder, is there a formula that one can say, yo, I have less, I'm less likely to lose here?
I think the only formula in the
especially for you singing niggas.
Yeah. Look, for me, look. I get when we started, social media was literally not that. I'm not that old, I'm not that old like some people. No, I dye my beard. Yes,
you do.
Yeah. So no, but look, guys, let's talk about science. Melanin, agree, it's not how when you're turning white. Come on, you were not paying attention in science school, bruh.
Okay, listen. Let's just answer the question.
So I think, look, I think the business hub having, being in Gaborone, and business hub in the music industry, I'm talking about radio stations. I think it's just unfortunate, other cities or other places, radio station. I personally think if Ghetto had 1 or 2 or 3 radio stations, it would totally change the game.
Why do you think they don't? Why do you think Bokra has never given?
You see, now we're talking politics that I could say.
Please.
No, I'm not going to say.
Come on.
Because I don't know. I don't know why they've not given out those licenses. I know people have been involved in, one of the applications.
Niggas have tried.
Niggas have been trying. Yeah. I mean, you do know what I mean, the structure, COSBOTS. Yeah. I know a little bit about that 1, 2, 3 things. But I've never really gotten a chance to speak to the Horotman Babali Killing if they were ever given a response, no kappa, whatever. I really can't talk too much about that because, like I said, Hakit. But if we were to have that, I think it would change the landscape and the game. Where some of us, I think, Naibling Francistown by now.
Yeah.
Somebody like Apollo would be in Francistown.
Definitely.
Your Brandos, you know what I mean. But
Buns would have his own
exactly.
show.
You know what I mean. I'll probably be on radio.
You know what I mean.
You've been. I've always wanted to be on radio. I'll probably be on radio. Kibu Askalaka right now.
Yeah.
But in terms of expansion, look, when we're talking music, no. This is just a subjective opinion, of course, just because I have learned one or two things.
Yes, sir.
One of the reasons why our neighbors that Baratang have such an overhold over us, is because how many radio stations does South Africa have? A little over 100.
Over 100.
Yeah. Both.
Never mind community radio stations.
Talking about community radio stations.
The ones that are mainstream.
The SABC, I think it's got really about 20 or so.
Way more than that.
Way more than that.
Yeah.
So now that, because radio medium has the power to influence you,
by playing it over and
by
over.
playing over and over and talking nothings about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a great platform. It's a very important platform. So now, how many radio stations do we have? 5. If we were to have an expansion in that regard, and then inclusive in terms of languages. He spoke about the inclusion. I think we have to start somewhere, Caesar. Yeah. The president spoke about how they're going to start. I think we have to start because it's a foreign thing to them, right? Yeah. But news having which languages he spoke of. Yeah. But ultimately, I think that would, going back to your question, do you think, yes, it does have, an influence on, that's the reason why most of us had to move here. Mm. And I say, I'm inclusive of me because I can see, radio station, only those platforms back in Ghetto or Maung, I would gladly would have moved back. You know what I mean? Yeah. But so I'm just trying to show you, it's going to be hard for you to start. I'm not saying you can't. It's going to be hard for you to start your career all of Francistown. And then Francistown. I'm not saying it's not doable, guys, but I'm saying it's
going to be harder than it needs to be.
Exactly. That's why most of us, northerners, naturally we had to come here. Mm. Unfortunately, even how many years into our democracy, it still has to happen. Unfortunately, you know what I mean.
For years and years and years, people need to come to the south to get anything going on.
Yeah, you know what I mean. And shout out to Zim. Zim had a huge impact also on my musical career because my first video I shot was in Bulawayo. It never came out.
Why?
Yeah, well, we're still kids and stuff like that. But I know of a lot of guys by older than me, Honoko Francistown. Students on D-Max. A lot of them were recording in Bulawayo. Yeah. Shout out to the then blues. You guys have no idea how Bulawayo was such a thing for us. Yeah. Francistown, because it's like a 2-hour drive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Literally ghetto Palap and then back, you know what I mean? So, but ultimately, Gaborone started having these studios. Before Gaborone, yeah. You know what I mean? So, just going back to your question, having as many radio stations as we can, it's going to help with the exposure of the song. It's going to help with, radio presenters. I found it very, it's sort of, I think Batswana kapa the artist le ena ba unsu digile mo na I'm still very ke bete se mola wana ka khanyati me I had to tone it down because niki ipotsa what's going on. Mihela, radio medium is very powerful. I think the government of today is looking into it and bare rates even in their own party, I jack a party. But banale banana belong hori that your Muna Mutama is in the committee on entertainment. Okay. Stallion is
you
in
guys
there.
Need to stop calling my bro Mutama. Come on, man.
Muna Mutama.
And
then we have people I mean, it have people like one of the biggest.
But he's not going to do it. He's not getting into politics. Some
of these things, guys. Some of these things, look, I mean, the leadership agents, how almost structuring, hierarchy. You ultimately do what you are being advised and told to do.
Talking about advice and what you're told to do.
Yeah.
On the morning when you and Tabang went to COSBOTS, what was the plan?
I was hoping we don't get killed.
Actually, hold that thought. I'm going to take a leak. I'm the only one drinking anyway.
I hope you forget. I hope you forget that question. Hey, I was hoping this question doesn't come through. Wait. Eish. Hey, total other agents. Hey. Yeah, ne. You're playing with it too much. Mugwena, was there not going to tell you? No, so Tameka. No, so Tameka. Come on, you. So, yeah. Let me tell you what happened that unfortunate morning.
Who called who, first of all?
I'm getting into that. So what happened was, I'm part of the then struggle, which is also ongoing now. The then struggle group, we do our concerned COSBOTS member, CCM. So I was one of the people who were I was brought closer in the committee. Leading the struggle, COSBOTS, in fact, me and Taba. So one morning he calls me, says, Zibo man, it had been a while since I did the royalty, you remember?
Yeah.
He was like, brah, I'm holding an eviction letter.
That's when people were being kicked out of their houses.
Yeah, he was like, well, I remember I kopana ntarbona le kwalo le la re ke ska ka bua ke sa tla ke sa tshwara za kae ene motho o tlo no tla dilwana tsa ka mo motlu
until you can pay them,
until I come back with money ibile go ai bana. Okay, so nke letsa gore accompany me morwa re kwa ke re go bua le re selotate.
The then CEO.
The then CEO, okay. I just want to go and confront him and ask. So he believed that my being there will motivate him to prompt with an answer, a proper answer. Why? Because the then CEO understood that I was a member. I was in the leadership of the then struggle.
The concerned group
yes,
of
the
people.
CCM.
Yeah.
So in his analogy, Zibo man being there, this gentleman will prompt me with a better answer, or maybe he believed or something.
Something to give to his
landlord. Ultimately,
no, Zibo, because we saw you were getting paid by them.
I'm trying to tell you.
Tell you know what it is. Okay, listen.
Guys, is this? How can you answer a question and you want to answer? You asked me who called me. Who called who? So he called me. Not from what I understood, accompany me. Accompany me. Hagetanakwa. Nikita botsa monno ibile ke montele mathata a. You know. Ke dumela gore ibile go nna nteng ga gago. Go tla thusa seemo ibile go ke tla bona karabo ka ibile ke ngwana gitse. That's what I understood.
Yes,
that's what I get re thabang na re mogolo, but in essence that was what why is ke bra ya ka.
Yes, sir.
Mara mo struggling ne ke le mogolo ane mo go at the time.
Yeah.
So when we went there, so I literally remember a le go ntle a kopana le majitabang mo ba nana le bone ne ke sa ba frustane wa bona ne ke sa ba frustane ne ke sa ba frustane. Ultimately I got closer with another one. So now like being introduced, Brazil, you know, and then at that time I'm thinking, you know, these are just fans, you know.
Yeah.
And I think one or two of them even took pictures with me. So I want to you relax. So I feel like, okay, you know, the guys who like my music, let me relax. In my mind, I'm not even thinking they're musicians. 1 2 1 2. What's that like controversial the voice chick? Sharon is there.
No, you're still a nigga. When people say the voice and say controversial, we always think you, my nigga.
No, she knows she has a special place in my heart for her. She knows. People. So, and then I blame myself because at the time, I didn't think too much about what is Sharon doing here.
With the camera?
No. She was just there on the phone. Even the live. Remember the live? It was through her phone. That's a camera. Not phone.
Wait again.
So 1212. The CEO of Batswana. So Tabangora know he wants to seize that moment. So getting about he went up the stairs. We spoke to the secretary. I'd like to see Mr. Selotate. Please make sure that he doesn't say no because he was emotional and understandably so because he was about to be kicked out of his house. Remember, hagona an outright plan.
We're here.
Yeah. No, was not planning you right. Planning is see you. We nearly gore mogole ke aka o mpona yana ke tshwere lokalo kile nyame le nna ke support gore nyame o dirile sentle o kope go mmona on your personal capacity. Le nna ne ke dumela gore my being there since the CEO knows gore I am a part of the committee gongotla nna hatse and total what we expected was for him to say bana ba gotse ke a lutlwa monna gaetso I really sympathize with you gongwe tla ke bona gore ga gona ka re ka go thusa letlole le ka ntshang for situation ya gago ya now. I think that's what ultimately Thabang was really looking for. Because happen re dumela gore the mogolo ana tshwana re ona tshwere maemo ao ne dumela gore o tla re tsaka bana ba gagwe ka gore o eteletse letlole le leng gore le tshwere madi a rona. So there was no plan, like I said. Renila Hatse, he got in. Thabang gave his side of the story. Sir, and he was very respectful. He's a very respectful guy.
Very.
Never should you think Thabang is like that all the time. No. Sat down, he pleaded his case. Why is they even showed the letter. I remember even he slid the paper to him. It's an eviction letter. So sir, ke hana ne ke re gongwe le ka nthusa ke dale Simon le Sharon is o tsenelene. Ha ditse gore Thabang ha bua le secretary. I think secretary o rile a re ke tla re ona le mang. Wa bona. So I think a re ke na le Lizibo. A ke tsora majita bangwe ba la ba buile no kwa teng. Ke ditsa bogologolo guys, I won't remember.
Yes sir.
And I think somewhat, the fact that Onana Lizibo somehow.
No, of course.
Hey,
no, of course.
So, bogote nyame ka tsena vera na. So ababu hore nyame ke na le Rasai mona ka bona and stuff like that. Yeah, he sentle hela. I guess secretary ga check gore ke bo mam ga ke rona ba rotlhe a re di musician. That's how Sharon and I think the other lady were, I don't know which news outlet was there. That's how they got to Khotana Lerona because the impression was that we are all musicians.
It was just a meeting between the CEO
and musicians who are looking for an alternative plan for now. Within 30 seconds. And then the gentleman who nerile go goene abaraya Mr. Kharo Khare, hey gentlemen, but the problem is no but a prior arrangement because I already have a very busy schedule today as we speak and I can paraphrase by the way as we speak I have a meeting in the next 10-15 minutes on the other side of town. So no batlele dile appointment I remember who kere. Yeah, but you see Mr. That's what you always say. But as far as I know, there's an open door policy. COSBOTS, we can come in at any time, and the virtue we are your bosses. And this was what was always thrown around.
Studio and it's a music.
Exactly, you know what I mean.
The arts, it's Botswana.
So you always do that. I just hope for today you don't do that, and you really listen to the gentleman. But Mr. Simon, like I said, I have an appointment. So please make an appointment with the lady by the reception, and I'm sure we will get time for the Tlarakopana Rebuedi puts. Ubuyana a puta.
I think I remember
Yeah.
IML during
At our phone, I think I was sitting on this. We were sitting on this side of the table, and then Antikakwa, I think Ali one, and then Bosharon stood strategically to see everything. No, on this side. Yes. So at that time, honestly, like I'm saying, now I was thinking, Sharon was there, just to report. It was an meeting happened. This is the interaction between. I thought that was what's going to happen. I really did. Honestly saying, and I don't think he had planned to do what happened.
He grabbed the keys.
Yeah.
When
the CEO grabbed the keys, the way he responded,
he was agitated.
No, I don't think he was agitated. He was like that, and he had a serious poker face. You didn't really know, you know what I mean. And the demeanor he gave us was that of, I don't have time, guys.
That's what I'm saying. Is just being dismissive.
Yeah, I don't want to say. Let's
dismissive.
Dismissive is the word.
Yeah.
I don't think agitated, because but he tried saying, no, guys, make an appointment. But at that time it was hard, guys. Guys were going through a lot of crap, and Thabang was really hoping. Totally, I was hoping gore motho a tsile ko motsading wa go ka mathata a bonala gore le kwalo kile ga to skatla. Mogolo tla ha gongwe nna ne ke tsetsa gore le ha ile gore ngwana asna then answer ka ba rile, like I'm saying ka ba rile tle ke tla bua le ba HR bona gore is there something we can do to help you for now, but please let it be sengwe se leng gore ne re go thusa now re tle re go fele di reports gore we are this far ka di royalty ile la tshwara phone ya riana ile la emelela ile la wa rwa tswa wa I mono molele ke ha setsa a phamotse braile I think yo mongwe o tswetse le bati pele a ke re mathakala ba tsile le bona ba ke sa ba frustaneng ba
Goon squad.
braingwe le o tswetse le a ba tswala le bati ba ema hapela ga lone ha ema ka hapela ga lone Thabang ba re ntakola ba a ke batla gore mothako motona braile ba ro a ba tshwara phone
I simulate puiso ya.
I think na ro tshwara na ro letsa yo le ko reception gore come and help me or something ile la tshwara phone ya riana Thabang ba re phone abaribile phone ya company. You're not going to use a phone ya company to report me. Hey man, ile la tshwara phone braille le bogora wa le ena ba a feel gore no is an attack on my personal space again. Abari Thabang ka di watching. And bear in mind Thabang is taller than him. Now this is happening, it's behind me. Hold on. This is behind me. Because none against le bating.
You went there for that.
I did. So I'm just trying to clear what these guys never tlafuna maloba bare. I'm a chicken. I was not fighting. I was fighting. I was fighting the struggle in a structured way. Because look, it's there in any organization. Yeah. It's not about action.
Come with a pen.
Because I guess there are ways in which that what have you ever heard of code of conduct? Look at COSBOTS.
Niggas are not giving us our money. I'm gonna give the ban right now.
But so by then, so now that's what you are seeing me on the video.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, because all that happened in 30 seconds. So Thabang took phone na braille ba more then because braille wa na feel it's a personal attack on it's an attack on my space. It was a phone ya ka. Yo mongwe yo lo eme hapele ga ka, he won't let me open the door.
I'm trapped. Yeah.
So braille o tshwara Thabang ba re nya Mr. S hakilo na hakilo le opo so phone ya. Le lengwe lele. A ke mathakala ba babedi. Le lengwe lele ha tshwara Thabang ya, le lengwe le mthakola ba tla tshwara braille ya. A tshwara braille ba mo kukana ba mo. No, scala. Now at that time, I think I was talking to Brazil. Abigail semester mad sounds. Go Nigeria, get Brawaka.
People are saying they cannot see it.
No, I'm like, what do I do in this instance? And I'm very glad I got to app Brawaka, the late sounds. Rest in peace, Grotmani. In that, I remembered, PR wise, he's always there for me. You know what I mean? I told him, Abantare, imagine how in that space, this was a good 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But luckily he was doing something.
Yeah.
But he was able to hold the phone. Abantare, did you guys go there with an intention to do those things? It's just something that happened now about Rwena. It has already happened. Do not incriminate yourself. Just sit there and if just sit there. That is, now I was doing that because
I saw that, yeah.
Yeah, and then I didn't. It just said to myself, look, I cater to the corporate world, but besides that, just as a personality, you have to really think of. But associate for whatever reason.
Violence.
Yeah, you know what I mean. It was violence. Let's call it what it is.
You can't associate.
Let's call it what it is. He later,
his brand can
he
be
rebuked what he said,
with
what he did.
Yeah.
He was really remorseful about what he did. But it all happened in the spur of the time. And
but that's messed up, though. Like, what about what the CEO did?
Yeah.
What did he have to conform with have to apologize for?
Yeah. But I get it, ultimately.
No, wait.
Yeah.
By being an arrogant person.
It's hot in here.
While people are asking for their money. I'm getting kicked out of my crib. And you want to tell me that you got a meeting in 10 minutes. You know what I mean? So, because like Zibo, man, I'm not going to play devil's advocate here because like, I know you don't like rustling feathers and whatever, you know.
Yeah.
And you're a good brother, you know. I don't understand, okay. Not only you, you know. There's the Henseys of this world. There's the people who people feel have a clean image and they probably get that Jew from those people because of how they behave towards them.
Yeah.
Do you think there is that situation where because
you do that,
I'll be talking that shit online, Tabang is bringing goons to the office? And you know, do you think that impacts?
You know, why you
do
not when I don't agree with you?
No, now you always tell me, and
regardless,
I know.
But
listen,
you know,
I joined Bomu because of you. I got into COSBOTS because of you.
Yeah.
You literally
gave you the lowdown. Yeah. But it's unfortunate. You know, I think it's unfortunate.
How can you guys be those calm though? Like, why are you able to like? And what are you doing different so that at least the ones that get agitated like me are able to calm themselves down so we can get this money because all we want is this dope.
I wish I had a better answer, you know, a more clever sounding answer.
We'll put subtitles.
Mzana ndokuloba mzana. Ndokuloba mzanangu ngono
because
I wish I had a better answer, bruh, but I don't, you know. I really don't. Some of these things, I think a lot of us have never really gone deep into understanding the characters in which we are, you know. And then there are certain characters that like lately little short people, they get angry. Well, had I gotten angry that day, I don't know what would have happened. You know? But because character. And I never want to put myself in such, you know. That's why I'm always the love peace guy.
Yeah.
You know, what I always try to make sure I help the situation.
Yeah.
And I was like, Caesar. Majitaba never simula barabu alene. So I had to save them.
No, but you saved my and I was with my lady.
Yeah,
so that's what I'm trying to figure out. Because
no.
Like I can be overly passionate and whatever, and I'm not the only one.
No, you're not the only one.
Artists also.
That's what I get. I wish I had a cleverer, more smart answer. I really don't. I think it's just an issue of maybe sometimes being in the wrong place at the wrong time. And you are an easily agitated person, and you find yourself in that instance. You know what I mean? I just think all of us need to do better in terms of our emotional intelligence, because even that scene, you know, I think it would have panned out pretty differently.
Yeah.
But because Thabang was in his feelings
evidence and stuff.
And at the time, and rightfully so, because na akojwa na batla madi ailing agagwe, him knowing exactly what there are other means, there are other ways of doing this, but he felt the need to do it at that time because he felt disrespected. You know what I mean? I understood why Thabang did that, and I also understood from some point the way the CEO was reacting. I didn't like it, but the fact of the matter is, had he left, we could never take him, you know, to task, because lo constitution tle be rile nya go tile le duela ka tsetsile gore, and ha le gore na le ngongora tshwantse gore le kwalo le go se go bokete. But like I'm saying, I don't have a smart answer, Tato. We just have to all do better. You know what I mean? We have to do better. We have
them
to
more than us, dog. I'm
part of them now. You know, I'm part of them now. So
we want to agree. Until you're CEO of COSBOTS, I'm not taking shit from none of them niggas except the money. I'll take the money, but none of the jargon.
Yeah.
Until someone who, not even a musician, nigga, you could be making baskets. I don't care if you're writing books.
I'm gonna shock you after this. What you're talking about. There's a very high likelihood that we will never have somebody in that seat who is a musician. By the way,
Why?
Because of the way, you know, the Kitlaring. The system is. And
so renele.
Nyara. Like I said, I think we have to find better ways to express these things, because obviously certain ways. Look, Negutla Mongo Maloba, Kim Kelo Idari, he's not saying we must be violent and stuff, but you guys must remember what some of these things really go up somewhere, and we have to look at and how have we always been doing things. Will this work for us? Doing that might not even work. Did it work at the time?
We never tried it. No, not this.
No, that incident, did it work? Did it work?
No,
it didn't work.
You should have turned around and threw that chair.
And that, I thought for myself at the time, brother. You know what I mean? So
I think I got a text from him the day before. Thank God I didn't go.
From who?
Thabang.
You got a text from him?
About going to this thing, to the meeting.
That day?
I didn't chicken out.
Chicken?
I just know.
No, you're a chicken.
I just know myself.
Poultry. He's a poultry.
I just know myself.
Eh?
I think it was because Jesus just knew. Don't do it. And
it's a good thing that Scar didn't come, guys. You know what I mean?
I didn't want to come. I don't know if it was the day before, but he had been saying stuff about going to go there.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. I see you on the live.
Look, the young man is very passionate about it.
Yeah.
He's a very passionate guy by nature, about anything that he does. And he didn't mean for what happened. It happened.
He's an awesome homie.
Yeah, he's an awesome homie.
We are out of time.
Yeah, okay.
We can't talk flipping 3 hours, nigga. Really?
3 hours?
We're nearly there. I think we got about 7 minutes left. To shut this down.
Okay,
we haven't finished. Like, we're definitely going to have a part 2.
Mara, you knew. Or
I knew it was
we
going to be a
it
problem.
down. Yeah.
With your sober ass. Yeah. I just want to, because like he knows what he's talking about. So I'm out here being the one clutching at straws. I want to know, when you came up, you guys were only made to sing the choruses. Thank goodness, like music
AKA hook.
The hook. Right now, R&B artists don't sing the hook.
Yeah.
It's like, yo, what song are we doing? You know, I got to sing my verse. I remember there was one time, I don't know if I had this in a inebriated position. People are possibly now about writing hooks and whatever. And every single time I send her any music, Mpo won't reply. Like, she'll just look at you like, nigga, you think I'm going to sing a chorus? Chorus?
Yeah.
But a lot has changed, Zibo, man.
Yeah.
You know, you were there when all we used you guys for was for hooks. You know, we got the homie here also laying. Never see him just on a hook.
Yeah.
He's got to have a bridge.
Oh, shit. Is that Jordan?
It's Jordan Moves, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, this is the type of company we keep.
Yeah.
You know, so you guys don't just do hooks, but you were there around the time where people were just singing hooks
Yeah.
We give you a bridge if you can do.
Yeah, if you can. Yeah.
You can hit the young G.
Yeah.
But now, you guys dictate the game, literally.
Yeah.
You know, who are your top 5 favorite singers that we should look out for the future in BW?
Hey, you make me sound like I'm old now, you know. But I'm old. Hey, but I'm old, guys.
But it's not to mean being old doesn't mean you have to stop. Kind of age is
I'm the new old.
He's the new old.
I'm the new old. But
I did that to Viso too. It was nice when.
Oh yeah, kind of you had Viso on the
Hey, so give me 5 people that you think have it within them.
Firstly, just
you know we have 7 minutes.
Yeah. Okay, let me just try and explain why. And I'm glad, you know, the singers of the vocalists of now are doing that. I'm
Standing
not sure,
up for themselves.
I'm not sure if they understand why. It's just coming from a point out, no, I want to have more of the song. But this is how intellectual property works. The then guys who did the hook only are going to get paid less when it comes to the royalty. Yeah. So the more you're on the song, the more you get paid.
Yes. Okay. Awesome.
And make sure that you make sure that you write your own hooks, by the way.
But then don't make that decision based on how much you want. What about the vibe in the jam?
Look, make sure you write your own hook because then you're going to get more of the royalties. Make sure you sing more of... So, okay. Obviously...
Sing more. Be more present
obviously,
in the song.
Obviously, Dato, she's killing it. She's
at
killing
5?
It. No. I said number 1. Nagi Simula from...
Yeah, but that's not good for broadcasting purposes.
Why?
We already have the number 1.
So,
but okay.
So you're telling me, okay.
All right, number 1 is Dato.
Why?
Yeah.
This is not in any particular order. I don't want to get myself into that kind of trouble. Number 1, number what. This is just the people you should look up for.
That's the chicken stuff that we're talking about. But anyway.
I learned from you, Pravak. So, Dato is killing it. Lena, she's never just on a hook, hella. If she is, she'll make sure that she grabs the bridge, right? Yeah. There's a new guy called Blessed G. Josephine. You must. He plays guitar like the great.
Where do you hear the jams though?
Jordan. Online Scar. Check it. Just go and somebody.
How
check
does he get your
Blessed
attention?
G.
I really think that I'll be out here for real.
No, I get these kids.
G?
I get some of these kids. Obviously, they will reach up to me because I'm the OG ho. Like you would know new cats in the hip hop industry that I don't know. You know what I mean?
One take made me look really good, by the way.
Yeah. So Blessed G is one of those cats that you really look out for. I think Dato is already doing it very big. You know what I mean? She took the level. She took the class to. You know. Obviously the homie also. Jordan is also doing it very big. He's got his own style. I love how he's sticking to his own style. He's got a very peculiar vocal, you know. But I want to hear him on different language na Kongwe. Yeah, I hope he's listening.
No, he's right there, nigga.
So I want him to try it. I wanna hear him. Can you speak fluent Tswana though?
I heard him he did a bar like
serious.
Yeah, he did like some raps.
Yeah,
though.
I want to hear him doing this.
But I heard some new music.
Yeah,
he went to Zim.
I was about to say I know he's a Zim guy like me. Yeah, what in Shona and Debele?
It's Shona, right?
Shona. Okay, if he
and he sent it. Mona, I was buzzing over
and you know
the
what?
song.
I'm glad Shona because Shona and Kalanga are cousins.
Brothers,
we are one thing.
No doubt, Papa.
So Jordan, you said 5. Shoo.
Yeah, Dato, Jordan.
There's a young lady who used to be a part of Blessed G. There's also a young lady who used to be a part of Khoisan. His name is Lira. I don't know how you pronounce Lira or Lera.
Oh, Lera.
I'm not sure how you pronounce
it.
No, but it's L-I. It's L-I-R-A.
Kilira.
Hey, horar Kilira then. Somebody check it out. Yeah. She was. I think she's the one on. What's Khoisan's first song to be put out? King.
Majita. But do you have Safa's number there? But
just all I know is she's the one on the hook She dominates on the first song. Yeah,
I think the leader, I think, is spelled with an E because I don't think she use the I.
It's an E.
It's
Okay,
an E.
yeah.
Katikema? Lera.
Either Lera or Lira, somewhere there. Yeah, she's also fantastic, guys.
Oh, she's new in Libo Labo Safo.
No, she's not there. She's not there anymore. I think she's recording with somebody. She left Khoisan.
Okay.
Or they were cut out. I think there used to be 4 or 5. Yeah, into 2. Yeah. So she's also one of those vocalists that I'm looking at. I'm like, hey, she's gonna do great things.
Yes, sir. Do we left for 1?
Yeah, one. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'll go. My little homie, my little cousin. We pizza mangante malating am fan over.
We have fun about.
I can leave it or pizza mamma na mutagena.
Tato tat.
Yes, in Tato tat. Oh yeah, how can I forget Tato? I mean,
no, don't do that.
No.
Don't do that.
No. Let me. That didn't work.
Namesake.
Namesake. Yeah.
Hey.
Tato is also.
No, you were looking for someone else, Zibo man. Let's not do that. Look for him. Hatama.
Can
make like honorable mention.
Baisana we pizza man never na mo. La music utola kila ya Jerry mun. We pizza mangante mutagona.
Do you remember a song?
Eh?
Do you have a song that you remember? You know him.
You definitely know him because I'm forgetting then. Nagana kila itiana kola pingwa one. By pizza ma industry malatiana.
You have full name because you niggas need to stop changing your name.
If I say the
every
name
5 minutes.
If I say his name, literally none of you will know him. His full name. Lao mang haka kila minute. But he's a producer also. He produces. He produced people like Bangu Shagwa. He produced. I met Bangu Shagwa.
Well, I didn't.
The
meet
lady,
her.
the lady,
the one in Francistown.
Yeah.
No, I didn't meet her.
Look, I'm just gonna call somebody. What's his stage name? I'm not. Nagimotona guys. Rahaga.
Where do you buy your dye?
Rahaga.
Where do you buy your dye?
Where do I buy my what?
Your dye for your beard.
My dye. What I like that. Komaga. Kumande kana kuda nos danetini kana munokwe. Hey, K Frost, kwalwa.
Oh, okay.
K Frost is my little cousin. So
Zibo man, most of them are not known though.
Yeah, I know. Which is why Kere look.
So none of the ones apart from Jordan and Dato, no one is doing it for you?
Look, I get now where I'm talking, like I said, I'm talking Kilibile, the near future. You know, I'm not talking like now.
Yeah.
And listen, it's not to disrespect anybody right now, okay? Because I'm not feeling them now. Can I just say who I'm thinking you should look out for in the next couple of years?
You guys gotta give me 2 minutes. What about Hensey?
What you want me to put Hensey? Hensey's
I'm
doing.
Just asking. Because
can I? Hensey's not a younging. Look. Let me tell you something. The reason why Khongoki Samua is because I don't think of him as
a youngster.
As a youngster. Okay, he's a youngster, but in the industry, he's already an OG. You know what I mean?
No, come on.
You know what I mean?
Kind of this OG tag always makes it like, okay, cool. Your money's gonna run out soon. Yeah. Get ready to move away for the youngsters. So I don't know how then, because like I see him getting into a space that you occupy.
Yeah.
In that like. No one was doing.
The nigga is superseded that, you know. So.
Yeah, but because there was that.
Yeah, because of Okay.
The weddings, the corporate events.
Yeah.
The a lot.
Yeah.
All right. And it's all of this stuff is never confrontational.
Yeah.
It's just to show that there is something that happens before something else happens, and we also
that's why
as Batswana we never acknowledge that. So we got 2 minutes, and I don't know. We gotta wrap it up. I didn't want it to be like
Monaro like the headphone yana.
So okay, so the thing is because he's established already.
Yeah.
So that's why he's not on the list.
Probably that's why. Yeah, he's already established. You know what I mean? He knows I have mad respect for him, and he's doing good. I don't see him. Yeah, he's already very established. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
No, cool stuff. No, I feel that. But
maybe just list youngings now, and they
could use this for the advantage as well.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like I said, I'm the type of nigga who says I'm gonna plant this tree. I know the shade, these kids that I just spoke of now, I know they're going to enjoy the shade. It's not going to, it's never, because I'm the type of nigga I shouldn't be selfish and say I want it to happen in my time. Unfortunately, things that don't always happen the way you want. You know what I mean? I know as a father, there are certain things that you do. I'm like that because I don't have a kid, but these are my kids. You know what I mean? Most of these things, some of them probably don't even know my music. Like I know Jordan doesn't, but you know what I mean? So, but I'm just teasing. But like I'm saying, I wish a lot of us would have that mentality, even to the guys that I spoke of. But there are certain things knowing what they are doing for mangwana. Mangwana. Ndo itila mangwana. Ndo tamila mangwana. And then Shona is also mangwana. So you know, so that's why I spoke of these kids because kids, but respectively, Baba I've never really met like that, but. I believe some of the things that we did coming up, they are enjoying now.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? I don't think had it not been the Lizibos of then, your Eugene Jacksons, your Khotlas then, they'd not be enjoying what they're enjoying now.
Yes, sir.
I know stations like Boyar and FM used not to play certain songs, but I know of somebody who's worked in Ampantar. I know he used to pump my song.
All the time.
He used to pump.
I can tell you exactly how it started.
Yeah, he used to pump Matidiso, of which Afro pop was never a thing. But you see, Khotla did this. I enjoyed it. You know what I mean? I'm enjoying the shade now. I'm doing what I'm doing, the little that I'm doing. I hope, in a couple of years' time, your Jordans, your Datos, because she's already doing it very big. Yeah. You know what I mean? So,
but we appreciate that, and I think they also appreciate hearing that you also hold them in that regard. I was just being, trying to figure out so that people don't create R&B beef. You R&B niggas are more dangerous than hip hop niggas.
Is that so?
I saw a fight between like August Alsina and some people. Okay, Papa.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us.
Thank you, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, that has been our show. We're hanging out with
we're gonna have a part
Lizibo,
2, right?
Glenn Simmons. But it's been awesome. We're definitely going to have a part 2. Are you releasing any music this year?
Yes, a third album is coming out this year called Jaha. It's titled Jaha.
You've been teasing Jaha for a year.
Yeah.
Since last year?
Probably more than a year because it's going to be a great album. It's one of those albums, for me, it's like one of those Tupac albums for me, because I did a lot looking at what I want the world to end up being like. The songs on there are very conscious and very, it means monnatia.
Yeah.
It means essence of a man.
Yes, sir.
So new music this year. I mean, album it's been coming out for a while. Yeah, so new album this year.
Awesome stuff. Jaha, check it out. Lizibo coming out very, very soon. Sepolo Solar still?
Of course. And a couple of other guys,
There's some homies in there. We'll definitely keep you abreast with what's going on with Lizibo as far as his music is concerned. It's another edition of the PODI-CAST. It's been love. It's been real. Shout out Local Corner. Shout out Leo's In. Shout out Biscuit Dubouche and my man, Mr. Lizibo. Yo, my name is SCAR. We're out. We'll see you next week. Peace.
People of different identities. Podcast with PODI-CAST.